Nya everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Weekly Shonen Jump for the week of June 2nd, 2019. On the cover, we have Tokyo Shinobi Squad, which I am very interested in a meta sense. Like, okay, let me explain. All I know about it is the title and, this art. And the first thing I noticed was, Tokyo Shinobi Squad. When I read that last week, my immediate thought was, it's real weird that they're doing a ninja series when they just brought back, Masashi Kishimoto. Like, the guy who did Naruto, the big ninja series of Jump, is back. And in the same, updates, the same, introduction of new series as Samurai 8, someone was brave enough to do a ninja series. I mean, it could have just worked out like that, but also, this is a ninja with blonde hair. He's got that Naruto smile to him. He's got something weird going on his face. This is more of just a straight-up scar as opposed to whatever was going on with Naruto's whiskers. Was that hair? Were those scars? Still no. Now, and you might say I'm jumping to conclusions, and I am. I'm willing to admit that. But, I didn't feel this way about Double Taisei and Beast Children, for instance. Just because, they're both sports series. But especially after reading them, they clearly filled different niches. At the very start, they clearly didn't, they filled different niches. This is rugby. This is shogi. But even despite that, Double Taisei focuses very much on its gimmick as opposed to the shogi. The shogi is there, but it's not that important. Whereas Beast Children, from the first chapter at the very least, they didn't focus a ton on the rugby, but it seems like the focus is it's going to be more about the sport than the gimmick. Though I don't know that for sure. I've only read chapter 1. Anyways, this is all to say that I'm excited to see what Tokyo Shinobi Squad is. We're not actually going to do it right now, though. Right now, I have Samurai 8 in the pre-recorded, as I said before. Tokyo Shinobi Squad, I'm going to do the first chapter live. And then from there, we'll see if it goes into pre-recorded or not. I kind of hope it's going to. If it's really good, of course, I'm going to keep it in live streams. But I just moved over We Never Learn to the pre-recordeds to, keep the live streams from getting too bloated. So we'll see. Anyways, let's start off with Act Dodge, Chapter 67. Okay, so we got Riku Agami here. We still don't know how he acts. I feel like this is going to be the chapter where we see if he is a... My theory last time was that he was sort of a Nicolas Cage, I believe. He's the kind of guy who is just himself, but he's so extremely himself. And, maybe he goes off script or he overacts at times, but he's just the kind of person that you can't take your eyes away from. I don't really think there's anything else. We've seen him already, and nothing that he has done has indicated, any other gimmick. So it's got to be just a personal gimmick. I mean, it's either that or maybe he's just incredibly good at being Sun Wukong. That was the other thing I thought of. Maybe he's chosen not because he's, specifically that great, but because his character type is exactly what they want for this play. He is everything that Sun Wukong is. Because Sun Wukong is, from what I know, he is this, this cocky character, this overpowered dude with way too much strength. He doesn't care at all for the gods or for the Buddha. So, we'll see. Damn, okay, well, that's a flex. That's a hard flex. Did she memorize the entire script already? Okay. I mean, Scene 67, top quality meats. What could that possibly mean? Okay, these two look new. Ichiko Asano and So Shiraishi. No, they're way too old to have been from, the Island arc. Yeah, there's no way. Ooh, yep, sure. So how is he going to surpass her then? I'm excited enough about Kei's acting here, but I mean, we know how good Kei is. We're on her side. The big question is, what can Riku do? Okay, as an actor, he's a mystery. In each film, he's always strong, always fiery. Basically the same way he comes off in real life. This vibe, his breathing, the way he blinks, his little mannerisms. I don't know why. It's not so much who he is, but the way he projects the experience of standing before a magnificent landscape. Okay. He sucks you in. Yeah, and he's not even really acting. He's just reading the scripts. Okay. For the past 2 hours. Okay, so quick time skip. So this is not quite what I was talking about. When I was talking about Nicolas Cage, I was thinking of it as he overacts. That's part of it. It's that, he does all sorts of weird things. And it seems like it's similar. Like, it is this innate quality that he has. But it's less outlandish. It's more just, I'll keep on reading. I'm sure they're going to explain it. Okay, you could call it an aura, usually in lead characters, right? It's not so much about being good at acting as the acting is good. He has the ability to capture people's hearts just by standing there. It's like he was born with a sort of messianic presence. That is one hell of a flex. Like, that feels like a bit much, but I get it. I actually do get it. It isn't that much, now that I think about it properly. Like, there are actors that can do that. I can't really say anyone off the top of my head, though. Like, most of the actors I really like are people who, like, can either do a big change or who, just are really skilled due to a lot of training. Like, they've worked for a while. I can't really think of anyone who is, like, a young actor who I'm super into. Like, the closest thing I could think of might be, like, Clint Eastwood. Like, I've seen a lot of Clint Eastwood, like, westerns, and a couple of his non-westerns. Like, actually, no. I'm thinking about a lot of stuff he's just directed. But, like, Gran Torino, he was in Gran Torino. And he has that aura of, like, he feels like a cowboy no matter what he does. And so, like, when he does that in a role where he's not playing a cowboy, like, it still has that presence. Like, you're still there not because you care about the character all that much as you care about, like, that Clint Eastwood aura. I think that's kind of a similar thing. Yeah, so, like, it's something that you can't really explain. Kind of like, I was talking in Food Wars a bit about how it is, like, it's a powerful move to say straight up in a manga, hey, this is a thing you don't understand. This is a thing you can't fully comprehend. I, as mangaka, can't explain it. Because part of that is, like, it's a show of weakness to some extent, but at the same time, it can sell the vibe of the series really well. What we need to think about now is how to engage with this, nothing more. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. It's not specifically like consuming the opponents. It's not about, like, taking what he has for her own. It's the fact that, like, she can't act while being in front of him. Yeah, your acting's starting to get awkward. And these guys are straight up just, like, their first thought is, how in the world are we going to figure out how to engage with him? Which makes sense. Like, you don't want to, like, try to crush him because, like, he is powerful. By the very nature of being there, everyone wants to look at him. If you were to do something where, like, your acting makes him feel like a bit character, then that would kind of suck. Like, he would just be the standout character anyways. And, like, I think that might actually bring down the entire production. Like, you have to maximize his appeal, but at the same time not being taken in by it. They get scared of being eclipsed by a presence, so they raise their voices. Without realizing it, they tense up and overact. Okay, so he's the top quality meat. I was waiting for the twist. Like, he's been very almost predatory to Yanaki for a while. So I thought he was going to say something like, I'm a hungry boy and I need the top quality meat and you are it. I want to gobble you up. Man, that's a cocky thing to say. Like, yeah, he doesn't give a shit about the audience. He knows he can go on as a one-man act and wow everyone. But he doesn't want that, so he wants to hang out with someone else, even if they're not meat at all, even if they're just a plate. God damn. And he's not even taking that as, like, a threat or an insult. It's just a straight-up compliment from him. God damn. Kuriyama's the director of Team B. He's not the director for your team. And it seems like it's not even, like, it's a twist, but it's not a twist on everyone. It's, like, they knew about this beforehand. Right, okay. Director's name's... I mean, I assumed because he's the director that he would just do both teams. Like, would you not have a singular director for the whole play? Like, I've been to multiple plays, and I assume that, like, most, like, apart from, like, if you do have, like, understudies and stuff, like, it's all treated as one thing. It might be different people playing the same roles, but ultimately it should all be the same. Like, you wouldn't get a different orchestra, or you wouldn't get, like, different set designers for the different groups. Though I guess this is meant to be more of a, like, duel, so they might be doing that intentionally. Like, it might not be that efficient, but they're doing it for the sake of making it more of a fight. He hasn't learned his lines. He didn't even know who the director was, and yet I was cowed by his presence. Also, just straight up, yeah. Okay, please give me 3 days. I'll make you forget all about Kuriyama. She's going for it. She's not going to let anyone upstage her. She's going to be the star. Okay. I don't know how she's going to do that, though. Like, it does seem like the main focus of this is going to be Kay learning how to act, like, alongside him. How to, like, allow his aura to come out while at the same time not being taken in by it. So I assume it would mostly be, like, getting to know him, becoming more comfortable working with him, not letting what he says, like, take her off guard, being able to fight back as much as she's, being fought against. But yeah, and I don't know if he's really gonna. I mean, he'll learn something for sure. That's how every Act Dodge arc has been. It's been like both sides learn something, but I don't know what he could get out of this. I guess it could be the other way around, actually. Like, if we flip the scripts, it might be that, he doesn't get to work with a lot of great people because he keeps on overpowering everyone, because everyone can't help but, break character to look at him when he's acting. So maybe what he's going to learn to do is to tone it down a bit. Like, for the sake of making it more interesting. Maybe. That could be a problem. Like, I think part of it is that, like, if he learns to be more courteous to others, that's going to take away from his aura. Like, in the same way that if, who's a good, like, super egotistical actor? I guess not an actor, but like Kanye West, for instance, is extremely powerful because of his persona, because he's so cocky, because he's so arrogant. Like, if he were to calm down, and part of it is, like, these, like, he's kind of on meds, kind of off. Like, we don't really know about that right now, but, like, he doesn't want to get help, or, like, he's been so reluctant to get help. I think partially because he's a creative person, because his power comes from his creativity. And if he were to lose that creativity, or if he were to lose part of that persona while he's on medication, like, it'd be good for him, but it would also hurt his finances. It would hurt his reputation as an artist. Like, I think this might be similar in the sense that, like, Ogami might not be able to turn it off. So it might just be down to, like, that could work in its own way. If all he learns is just, oh yeah, I guess there are people out there that are as good as me, or there are people who are incredible plates, or someone who's beyond a plate, someone who's like a side dish. Maybe that's what we're going for. Overall, good chapter. Very, very good chapter. Let's move right along to Black Clover, page 207, Ultimate Magic. So we've got this, like, clearly this, even if it's magic from another realm, it doesn't work against anti-magic. Anti-magic is the great equalizer. But yeah, like, Storm of Blades is a really good counter, because even if he can block the magic ones, he still has to try and block all of them, because he can't tell which ones are magic and which ones aren't. And the physical ones can still hurt him regardless. What is it? This feeling, it's warm and nostalgic and folding. I mean, like, it's not the same thing as the other reincarnations. Like, Yuno is one with his elf, it seems like. So, of course, he would still have, like, even if that elf is not still conscious, like, I assume he's still, like, having that feeling. Like, he remembers Licht. Even if he doesn't remember him, his body, his spirit remembers him. God, like, the power to seal things and to open things really is incredibly multifaceted. Oh yeah, didn't he say this last chapter? Or am I misremembering? Like, even the key... Oh, I think he just looked at her and said all this. Okay. I mean, in the face of someone like this, someone who is willing to equalize the world, someone who is willing to see the good in absolutely all types of magic, like, how could you not want to follow him to your grave? Also, I just thought about it, like, the series clearly needs, more upgrades, quote unquote. Like, it's a long-running shonen series. Things are going to have to change. The main characters are going to get stronger. But we do have, like, this... So far, we've had, like, limits to power, where, like, you can't just keep on training and get more and more ridiculously strong. But the first Wizard King, like, regardless of whether he becomes the current Wizard King, or if he just, like, sticks around while a new Wizard King is appointed, or, is elected, whatever, he is, like, he's focusing on magic items, which is something no one else has been working on. Or, like, it's kind of become a lost art, sort of, since his death, slash stealing. So, what if, regardless of whether he's the Wizard King or not, what if he ends up, like, introducing magic items to the world? Like, we could do a ton of arcs that are just, like, focusing around that. Like, we need this item to make more magic items, or we need this magic, we need to go to this location, we need to find these old artifacts. Like, that could help for some mini arcs, and it would help uplift the entire Clover Kingdom. Like, if we get magic items out there, like, first of all, the poor people can get magic now, they can do stuff, there's less oppression, the upper classes aren't so clearly stratified, and on top of that, like, that allows the Magic Knights to get stronger without just straight up making them more magically powerful. Like, we don't have to do the Bleach thing of, these characters have been around for 2,000 years, and they're at this level, And then over the course of like 2 years or so, they jump up. So many people get their Bankai. They've all massively improved. Like, we don't have to do that if we do magic items. Like, in that case, everyone could also, like, it could keep the power scale of the series low. Because instead of just making everyone stronger, they could all diversify. It doesn't even necessarily need to be like everyone can do anything now they have these items. It might just be closer to like, Magna gets an item that makes him more powerful. Like he gets a special bat or something. Lucky gets, new shoes that allow him to do his lightning shoe thing without needing to waste as much mana. Like, it just feels like a new direction to take the series. I mean, that's a pretty powerful spell, and it doesn't seem like it really affected him that much. Like, he was avoiding it for a bit, but it seems like that's more of just a, he didn't want to bust out the ultimate powerful spell that he can use whenever he wants to end the fight right at the very start. What are we doing here? I mean, the chapter title was Ultimate Magic, so I think this is going to be the Ultimate Magic. How do you like that, enemy of all food? That was the power of appetites. Oh, it feels so weird to see, like, large Charmy. What's going on with her? Oh boy, I hope she shrinks down relatively soon. Oh, okay, so, like, all the elves are glowing. Like, is he doing a spirit bomb? That's what it seems like, actually. Like, if he's gathering all their magic. Ultimate sword magic. Demon Dweller, sword conquering Aeon. God damn. Wait, did he kill him? Did he actually do it? Holy shit. That's the devil's heart. All right, stab it and it's over. God damn, okay. Oh my god. That is, oh my god, that's so cool. Like, that is such a cool visual. That's the true power of that sword. Is there still some sort of power in my sword that I haven't managed to access yet? There's a power I can use because I've got no magic. I don't quite know where he's going with it. I mean, it might just be as simple as he's going to do something like that, like just because it's anti-magic, he could erase more of the devil without the danger of him being able to like move his consciousness or whatever, or use the magic to fix himself. Like, it might be that. But he's using the small sword right now, like the one that is like it dispels. Oh, it dispels magic. That's it, right? Like, the whole point of it is that it's able to dispel curses or like effects. So what if it's able to dispel like passive effects? Like, he could use it on this thing, this whatever it is that eats magic, because it's anti-magic. Like, he could use that to just completely dispel it. That's all I can think of, because like, it can't just be I'm going to use an attack to kill the devil. Partially because I feel like he's going to survive, but partially also just because like, he's not that powerful. He sure as hell is not as powerful as Licht using the power of all the other elves. But if it's just as simple as erasing this thing, or even like making it so that he can't bring it back, I don't know how that would work. That feels like a bit too much of a stretch. But I'll stick with that as my prediction. He's going to, like, because he's also trying to use the potential in his sword that he wasn't able to access. So if he can just like outright stop this thing from being created, then he could also potentially like branch that out to other things, like just straight up if he tries to use like storm swords again, just dispel it. Nope, not gonna do it. You can't make swords anymore. Or like, I'm gonna stop you from making, I'm gonna stop it before the swords are even manifested, maybe. Something to that extent. In any case, it feels like it's gonna be some sort of a boost. So, I'm gonna leave that there. Good chapter. Honestly, I think this might finally be a time where Act Dodge is better than Black Clover. Like, this was a good chapter, though. This was a badass chapter. And, I mean, we did have multiple parts to it. Like, we got Sekira's flashback, which I really do like. Like, I love the sentiment of it. But I guess I was mostly talking about my own theory during that, as opposed to the actual, moments. And, like, this was super cool, but I don't think it, like, carries the entire chapter. It's more of just a, like, hey, here's an insanely powerful thing. This is how good Licht is. He's so powerful, but he doesn't feel wild. He feels, like, finely honed. But it didn't work. It feels more like this is meant to be a companion piece to the next chapter. Also, I just noticed, is Asta's sweat, like, moving upwards? Is it, like, crawling up his face? Like, you can see it here and also here. Like, the way the drops look, it doesn't look like they're dripping down. It looks like they're dripping up. Like the force of his aura is pushing it up. Anyways, that's Black Clover. Next is Food Wars, Shokugeki no Soma, Chapter 313. So I saw on Reddit that we are in the final 3 chapters, or there are 3 chapters left. I don't know if that includes this chapter, or if this is, after this chapter. I'd assume after this chapter, just because, like, usually that comes out during, the leaks, and this would be the chapter that was leaked, right? Or would it include... it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Anyways, I'm kind of glad that we didn't rush it, that it didn't come, like, it wasn't canceled during the 4 new series coming out. It feels weird that it's gonna happen, like, right afterwards, though. Like, are we getting yet another new series? Some people have speculated that Hunter x Hunter might be coming back, but, like, a series doesn't have to end for Hunter x Hunter to start. Like, from what I understand, there's always that slot in Jump. Like, Hunter x Hunter is always running, quote-unquote. It's not like they have to, like, kick out a series. Your dish did reach a proper level of gourmet. However, it was not enough. What? What the fuck are you talking about, Mana? What are you talking about? It got a gifting to strobing combo out of you, but still wasn't enough. Man, oh man, oh man. I mean, that is the most tsundere thing I think I've seen in the entire series. Eren has never done anything quite that tsundere. But okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, like, because the series isn't being ended right now, we have time. Like, we gotta do the finals. Oh my god, we're doing the finals. We're actually doing it. We're not just gonna do a robo laser beam thing of, well, here's what the ending was kind of going to be, but now we're just gonna skip forward. Like, no, they have enough time. Like, we've got this chapter, which I assume is going to, like, I think it's gonna dive right in. Then we have next chapter, which can be, like, just a standard Shokugeki, like, here's all this stuff, here's how Erena's gonna win. And then the chapter after that is, hey, this is how Soma managed to beat her. Here's, the big turnabout. And then that leaves one chapter for an epilogue. I feel like that's what we're doing. Yep, we're doing it. We're doing it. Like, I was so ready for this to just be like an epilogue, for it not to be a real fight. So, I'm glad. I'm glad we have this extra time. Okay, play 313. Divine Tongue at a loss. I mean, it could really go either way, and I kind of want her to win, because that would be the big thing of, like, hey, you lost faith because of your Divine Tongue, but my Divine Tongue is better. Not because I'm better, but because I was with friends, because Soma changed me. Like, that would honestly feel even better than Soma winning. Because that also, like, that allows us to even things out. Like, this arc was kind of, Soma, defending his father / taking over from his father, being a man worthy enough of taking over Yukihira. While at the same time, like, it doesn't make sense for him to be the one to wow Erena's mom. It makes way more sense for it to be, a Nakiri thing. Like, the Nakiris are the ones that solved the Nakiri problem. Yeah, like, do I just leave it all in his hands instead? That would feel so unfulfilling if it was just like, oh, well, I was ready to let Asi Saiba win, but I guess not, so I guess I'm gonna let Soma win? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Ever since Mother and Father first met, they challenged Storm, pushing forward, hand in hand, until the day Mother collapsed and left the family. Like, that's the thing, like, we focused so much. Arguably, the entire Central arc was the beginning of this arc. Like, this whole thing. I mean, arguably, the entire series has been that, but I do feel like Central was this big shift. A lot of people don't like it. I myself am kind of a little iffy, but I overall liked it. And I feel like if we're going to commit to it, like, commit to it. At the very end, have this be, the Nakiri family saving itself through Erina. Like, sure, she won. Like, sure, it was bad that she was, like, basically tortured her entire life to get the Divine Tongue as powerful as it is, but, it worked out. And it worked out not because of either of their schemes, but because Erina herself made friends, and she grew, and she became a better person. All right, the next day, then the sun set and night falls about the stage. Okay, and we're even getting rid of the other judges, so it is, like, it's intimate. It's just her. Your theme is a dish the world has never seen. So, even more pure than, the 5 world cuisines. She's just saying straight up, this is what I want. You know what I want? This is what I want. She's already started cooking. Oh, boy. She told me to get... Yeah. Come on, you can break through, though. You wait right there, got it. So... I mean, I think part of it's definitely the rivalry. Like, he wants to piss her off. He wants to make her move forward and to do, to push herself to greater heights, to do what she was doing on the train. Okay. I have secretly cultivated this plan for years. Let's see what results from the diamond generation I have built. I guess this is the big thing. Like, what is Soma going to make? How is this going to tie up the entire series? Like, that's what he has to do. He has to literally tie up the entire series. He has to create something that no one has ever seen before. And from what Zaimon is saying, it sounds like, he's planned for this. He wants Soma to, like, this has all been training in a way. Soma is going to create something that sums up the entire series, all of his experiences. It's going to be something no one has ever seen, something that will completely blow away Mana. But at the same time, like, Erina and Soma have been around for about the same amount of time, basically. Like, he's been around a tiny bit more, but, like, they've been there neck and neck ever since the start of Totsuki, really. And because of that, like, the start of the Totsuki arc, I mean, obviously. Like, because of that, I feel like we're going to get the big thing of Soma pulls out something absolutely amazing, something that does sum up the series, and then Erina does outdo him. I want that to be the case. Especially because clearly she's at a disadvantage. She's the underdog. Like, if we're gonna do it, come on. Like, follow the formula one last time. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm excited. I can't say I'm like a super duper like into this is like, this is gonna be amazing, but like I'm excited enough. I have no promises about it, which honestly makes it even more exciting in a way. Like, I can't say that this is absolutely going to be the greatest finale. It could just be like, eh. But at the same time, the fact that we have 3 more chapters and this feels like we're heading towards a real ending. We're not doing a Bleach thing of, well, it looks like we're just chugging along on this arc. Like, I'm excited. This entire time, for months now, I've said I'm ready for Soma to end. So I can't back down now. I am excited to see Soma end. So I'll put that below Actage, below Black Clover as well. Like, I did like this, but I mean, these were 2 good chapters. Like, I'm not going to like rank it higher based on the promise of this. I'm gonna let the series speak for itself. If it's going to be that fucking good, then it's going to do it. It's going to, it's going to prove itself to me. That's all it's got to do. I don't need to treat it any differently. So let's see how it goes. Also, I do apologize for my cursing. I feel like I've been cursing a lot this reaction, and I try not to. Like, I don't know, I'm not gonna get too deep into it. It's not like there's anything stressing me out, as far as I know, but yeah, that has been weird. So let's move right along to Samurai 8, The Tale of Hachimaru, Chapter 4. Family arguments. Well, last time we were going to touch on, like, what's going on with Hachimaru's dad. Is he, like, a famous thief or something? Oh boy. I mean, so far I've been reading Samurai 8 mostly based on just like momentum, but now that we have Tokyo Shinobi Squad, I mean, first of all, Tokyo Shinobi Squad, gonna really analyze that, gonna really stress on it. Like, it's got some stiff competition, but if it's better than Samurai 8, I'm probably gonna drop Samurai 8 like in the next few chapters. We'll see. Because so far, like, it's always been a mixed bag. I can't like give straightforward praise to Samurai 8, and that kind of hurts. Like, I just finished, getting rid of some series that aren't the best. I don't want to keep Samurai 8 around just because it's, a series that could get big. Yep, and one of them is Hachimaru. The fact that there's only 7 of them is so interesting, though. Like, it's because of that I'm so curious. Like, the series is Samurai 8, and we have a bunch of things for the 8. He was the 8th person that Daruma met. His name has the word 8 in it. Like, because this is specifically 7, it makes me feel like there's going to be something else. If I had to guess, it's going to be that, like, some sort of evil organization or something is going to already assemble those 7 keys. We're going to have the horrifying moment of, oh no, Hachimaru, you weren't really special. You weren't one of the 7 keys. And he's like, no, guess what? I'm the 8th key. I can kill the bad guy and we can still, open up the box because I can replace him. It's going to be something like that, right? Ah. Nice notice. Like, he's so mad. He's so willing to defend Hachimaru, or he's so willing to, defend Hachimaru because of that. Like, if he's not being surprised in the slightest, then what's he doing? Right, Hachimaru is now a samurai whose purpose is saving the galaxy. Yeah, so clearly he wants to protect him. He wants to keep him shackled, or he wants to keep him under control. But I mean, Hachimaru's got wings now, quite literally. Yeah, and who went outside to save you? That was me. I mean, he's not wrong. Even this feels like it's going to be one of those things where he says something nasty to his father, and his father dies, and then he regrets it. But no, it makes sense. Yeah, as we said from the very start, he almost certainly meant to not complete it. He just wanted to keep him inside. All right, flashback. Let's see. Like, can we contextualize him a bit better? Can we understand what his thought process is? Okay. So he was looking at it. As he said before, he did need the locker ball. Like, the locker ball was important. Presumably not to turn him into a samurai, though. Like, or was it? Huh. Because, like, this guy, this seems like a new character. Maybe it was... That's the thing, like, it's a mobile life support unit. That implies, to me at least, that it wasn't supposed to be, like, turning him into a samurai. It was supposed to just be a mobile life support unit. Like, it would be something that he would take along with him in his normal body that would, like, keep him alive like a samurai, but it wouldn't turn him into one. Oh? Okay. Yeah, just tell me a number. 8, of course, as always. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh boy. Okay. I think I know what's about to happen, but let's see. Yep. It was this shot specifically. Like, this by itself could have just been, like some sort of weird jutsu or something. But because we focused on that, it had to break open. I'll repeat myself. A samurai is one who decides everything for himself. Oh, come on. Your character profile's already been updated to include being my master. Isn't that right, Master Daruma? Yeah. Of course, like, that's not even a question. Of course, he wanted to leave this entire time. So the big question is really going to be, like, what goes on with his dad? Does his dad get killed? We'll have to see. So far, okay. Honestly, very bottom for sure. Not as good as Food Wars. Like, this Food Wars chapter was great. It was a great start of the final battle. Black Clover, even better. Arguably about the same as Food Wars, actually, because, like, it was flashier. But I mean, Black Clover's always flashier. It had a little more substance to it than the Food Wars chapter, though. And then Actage, I mean, Actage, I think I'd almost put it below Black Clover. I'll do that right now. Because, like, it felt similar to the Food Wars chapter now that I look back on it. It was also setup. It was really good setup. It was exciting, but it wasn't the greatest. So that was Samurai 8. Next is The Last Saiyuki, Chapter 13. The Torii Gate's gone. They can't teleport off the island. No skedaddle for you. And Chapter 13, The First Cry. But I mean, they already have the monsters out, so what could this be? Like, the monsters, I assume, have also been, like, attacking people, so it can't be the first cry of the innocent civilians. It can't be the first cry of the monsters, so what could this be? Yeah, we're stuck on this island with disease monsters. That's gonna fuck her up. Aww. God, she's already, like, within the first 13 chapters, she's already, like, it's not that she's less dependent on everyone, sure, but she's gotten stronger. She's gotten more talkative. She's more willing to, like, give help or, give support to people as opposed to needing support. Man, Kohaku! I feel so proud of her. But alright, let's meet back up with Sensei. What have you done if it turned out I wasn't a follower of chaos? Oh, that's what that is. I wasn't sure what was going on here. So it's implanted in his body. It's not even like he's using it ad hoc. He just, like, he did stick it in. It's replacing his femur there. Oh, the Kuroi had reached their saturation point, and now you've gone and reduced their number. In doing so, you've sped up the conclusion of the tale. Okay, first of all, cool. Very, for a while, Peter Parker, 616 Spider-Man, had this thing where, like, he was kind of just doing a Wolverine ripoff. He had these, like, poison stingers that would kind of just, like, rip out of his hands. It was a whole thing. He gave birth to himself. He got some new powers. That reminds me a lot of this because it's so, like, violent and it's so weird. Like, Wolverine's claws are clearly not supposed to be there, sure, but they still they look like claws. They look like something that could feasibly be on an animal person in some way. Whereas this is so brutally unnatural. Like, this is not a thing that any natural creature has. Or at least, it doesn't come from a hand area like that, like from the wrists. And it also has minor connotations maybe of self-harm. There's little like flesh there being ripped up. It's a powerful visual. Hmm. Okay, you're stuck here, so you may as well listen to the first cry of a true Korori. A true Korori. So, yeah, so what could this be though? Like, we've got the explanation. What is this? Like, what could this be? It's like it's sucking in their energy even more so? Like, they were already being affected though. Oh? Alright. Already triggering whatever that is, like Son Goku mode. The Nyoibo can't catch up to her. Like, so far we've seen Nyoibo be basically instantaneous. But no, she's faster than the Nyoibo. Just by herself. God damn, she's already bashing their brains in. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. A little too easy though. Like, what's going on? And yeah, I like that. I like that it does differentiate her her fighting style. Like, she doesn't have to extend it specifically because she's so fast. Yeah. I'm gonna change into my Ling Ling outfits. I mean, sure. It's like, if you're gonna do it, may as well do it now that you're starting to fight. Like, you gotta get that motivation slash that, what would it be? That bravery. People might think it's silly that we're psyching ourselves up like this, but it actually works to suppress our fears. Hey, I mean, if it works, then don't bash it. And I do like that. Like, I like that clearly she is taking it to heart. Like, she's a bit scared. She's also, acting up a bit to try and quash down her fears. And Ryunosuke is treating this normally. Like, he's not, talking down to her, but at the same time, he is saying, like, hey, the next time they attack, you can let us handle it. Like, if these scare you, then let's not make you, jump into a situation that you're scared in. Let's not have you do something that's going to make you weaker. Okay, that was a boneheaded move. You knew she was changing. Alright, be strong, like Ling Ling. I have to look good in this outfit, be more worthy of it. Oh my god, she was so cute! I mean, she's still cute, but, those eyes especially. Did her mom buy her this outfit then? But right. Oh no, I'm not fighting for Karu's sake, I'm fighting for my own sake. My biggest wish right now is to live a normal life with Karu. Karu didn't ask me to do this, and it's not for her sake, I just wanted to do it. That's a good way of putting it. Like, he's not being self-sacrificial. This is something that I feel like most viewers bring up in, chapter 50. Because, it's a good, easy conflict for the main character of, oh, I'm sacrificing myself, I'm hurting myself, I'm doing it for this person, then he has to learn to do it for himself. We kind of already did that. That's wild to think of. Alright. So, I'm sorry. Kind of got a little distracted there. So, final twist was they're gathering and becoming one. So I assume none of these were a true, what was the name again? Korori. So this is the true Korori. Whatever this is going to be. That also does explain why they were or not even jumping out, what was being pulled out of all the people. I assume it is all the sickness is being manifested into one true entity. Which I'm interested to see about, because we also have the whole true human thing. So it feels like the series is going to try and do something in regards to, truth or the realist version of something. Like, what makes something real? What makes something just a story? I don't quite know exactly where they're going with it, but I'm excited to find out. That's a theme I am super duper ultra interested in. So I guess let's leave it there. Sorry, the break at the very end kind of threw me off. But let's jump right into my good friend, my boyfriend, my fiance just stopped streaming, and I want to jump right into the live stream. So even though I wasn't going to stream We Never Learn, let's do it. Let's stream some We Never Learn. Never mind, let's just do this not live. Live things always take longer than non-live things, and I already set it up. I already said I wasn't going to do it live, whatever. So, oh boy, my sign's #1 today. Check out our official blog for more details. I do love this new dynamic now. Like, it's not even that much of a new dynamic because when he was introduced, we had, the old dynamic. It's more just being able to see her like with a family member. Like any situation where it's not just at home or with friends. Like it's different. And he is a really great character in his own way. Could something like this happen with that special guy? Fondling your chin. I mean, this is pretty good. These are all pretty good. Oh, yeah, that is true. I mean, was she into horoscopes before? But that is a good connection. Like, stars, horoscopes, sure. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. I mean, if I had to guess, I'd assume that she probably brings the broth in a thermos, then just takes the noodles with her. Oh, oh, oh my god, he's gonna accidentally stick it in her mouth. Yep, hand feeding. It's hand feeding. Oh my gosh, fondling your chin. Is he gonna do all of them? Well, what else was there? There's sweet nothings, hair gently, midnight, and then getting cozy. Also, interestingly enough, this feels like it's done in left to right as opposed to right to left. Like he did hand feeding and then fondling your chin, as opposed to the Japanese order of right to left. Huh? And that's like I was reading it like that. I was reading it right to left, but realistically, like this makes the most sense as a continuous storyline. So if I had to guess, I feel like this chapter is going to do all of these things, but right here, like as they enter the same room, she's gonna find, she's gonna like leave or she's gonna freak out, something like that. Do people really use sugar cubes anymore? Like normally? Because I mean, I've been to stores, like I've seen them. You can buy them, but I've always thought of them as like a thing you get for for the sake of using sugar cubes, as opposed to like actually going to a diner or going to a tea shop and getting sugar. Also, what is this? Why did she do this? For what purpose? Oh, never mind, never mind. I thought she was like throwing it at Furuhashi, but no, it's the opposite. It was Furuhashi backed up. She hits this random waitress lady, and that's why it spilled. Okay, I see. Oh my gosh, that horoscope was for real. At the very least, like I haven't been a big fan of the the always resetting thing for We Never Learn. Like it's always been kind of annoying, but I do like this dynamic, like the dynamic of Furuhashi not wanting this to work out, and therefore she is the reason why things don't go all the way. Like it's not forced. It's not like the karma of the world doing it. It's her. Like she's specifically trying to stop it now. You forgot your change. It's a lot of money. I mean, I guess it is. I don't know what the others are, but those are all 100 yen. So, yeah, it's $3, but more than that. Yeah, he's close. If someone saw us like this. Wait a minute. Okay. So they got into the truck, but why? Actually, why? Hmm. Well, I. Oh. Okay, so I jumped ahead a little too much. I thought this was going to be the intimate moment, the very ending. But yeah, I guess this is going for a drive together until midnight. It's a very out of the box way of doing it, though. Like of all of these, like bad slash, not the way it was meant to be, fulfillments of these predictions. Like this is the best one. This is so completely out there. This is peak Three's Company. Based on how things have been going so far, this truck might not stop until midnight. How extremely arcane. Like, what is Yuiga thinking when he hears that? Well, we may as well wait, I guess. Or we may as well study. Sure. I mean, he's gone through so much in his life at this point. I guess this is just to be expected. Sure. Oh boy. Then, yep, wearing it together. So extremely intimate. Okay, you start to initiate. It's all come true. So it really does come down to her. Like, she has to distinctly choose not to let this go any further. Also, neat little thing there with Azamon. Like the it's usually supposed to be Amazon, obviously, and the arrow is A to Z. But here I believe. Actually, I guess it is jumping from the A. Never mind. I thought it was going from the Z to the M. Like I thought it was going to be like, those two letters are flipped. I guess you kind of see that, but it looks like it's coming out of the A. Like, so I guess it wasn't that clever. Never mind. How extremely cursed. How unbelievably cursed. Also, these reaction images have been fantastic. I can't get over them. They look so good. Okay, that is an awful pun. That is literally horrifyingly bad. Did you call my name? This is such a weirdly self-aware chapter. Like, it knows how bad some of these puns are, and it's just going for it. Okay. Oh, yeah! That's actually a good, like, yeah. Like, he's not the kind of person who would know about that sort of thing, so it does tie together pretty nicely. I see, you're using these to teach math? Okay, so good chapter, not my favorites. Very lukewarm, honestly. I can take this off the live stream, put that back in pre-recorded. Um, I'll put it between Food Wars and Actage. Like, it was fun, it made me laugh, but I really liked this week's Actage. So I think that's a good place to put it. Now it is actually time for the live stream. So, I guess I'll just start the segment over again. Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is the live stream segment. Starting off with Chainsaw Man. So, as I was just saying, this does not look like a sword at all. It also doesn't really look like a spike. Like, the hilt here reminds me a lot of a thumbtack or a nail. So I think this is literally just a nail. Now, I'm not sure why it's a nail. Not sure if this comes from the nail devil. Not sure if this is one of the nails that nailed Jesus Christ to the cross. But I assume it's got to be just a nail. So, last chapter, we had this boy, the not really named yet devil, some sort of blade devil, obviously. He's got this like handle ponytail coming out of his back that makes me think he might be a sword devil, but it's also very possible that he's some sort of knife devil or just a general blade devil. All possible, all possible. Okay, he's got in the back. What was that? Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Hey, homie. Like, that took me off guard so much because I didn't notice it. I really did not notice it at first because it's off panel. But, like, oh my god. So, definitely not the Fox Devil. Like, that's a very humanoid hands, which the Fox Devil definitely did not have. I guess the big question is, how did it work? 3. What does that mean? What does that mean? Also, did it work? It doesn't look like anything's sticking out of it. Okay. Because of the way they're hyping up the sword, it made me feel like this was definitely supposed to be some sort of like one-hit kill. That's definitely not what this is. All right, fired again. 2. Okay, so maybe it's if you hit 3 times, it's an automatic kill then? Oh, curse. Okay, that's what it meant. That's what it meant at the start. So this is wait, is it the cursed devil though? Or is it just like laying down a curse? God, that's so cool though. Like anything that involves a creepy countdown is inherently like very cool. Okay. So is it just gonna straight up eat it? What in the world? Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay, so we've got 2 skulls. One of them is like there's some sort of like thing growing out of it. This looks like it's 2 eyes actually, like just kind of coming out of where, up right above where the actual eye holes are. This is obviously 2 eye holes, a third eye of some sorts. We've got this is definitely its rib cage, not, oh boy. What in the world? Also, where are they stabbing it from? Like, are they ripping it in? Oh, no, never mind. They're just biting down on it. That's actually extremely obvious now that I think about it. I guess the big question is, what does this cost? Like, Obviously, it was something they didn't want to use back in the hotel, so it's not just a thing you can whip out. And it can't be as simple as the cost is whatever it eats. Like, that would be way too convenient. Also, I guess we were never told whether you could contract with multiple devils or not. My assumption, just because it's a shonen series, was that you can only contract with one at a time. Because, that's a good way to just have a bunch of characters with one unique ability, which is the shonen standard. I was completely not expecting this. Yeah, that guy had a gun, even though they're impossible to obtain in Japan unless you're a police officer or a devil hunter. So, yep, from the gun. I mean, they outright said last chapter the gun devil was sending his regards. But how? Also, because those are real guns, like, real guns, like physical guns that look normal, as opposed to like weird demony guns. They didn't look like they were made out of flesh. It didn't look like they were shooting pieces of the gun devil. Also, this does have a double meaning in a way. Like, part of it's just, in Japan right now, it's incredibly hard to get a gun. But also, like, post Gun Devil, I imagine gun restriction is probably a lot stronger. Just to avoid, causing public fear of guns yet again. Or more public fear of guns. Okay. Someone through with us big enough times, they'll die. Okay. Who is this? Yeah. Also, I guess that is, just likely confirming it is the Cursed Devil. Hmm. This, huh. I mean, this feels so extremely casual. So, uh, what is going on? I guess he's fine. I guess he's fine. Um, is that it? Is Aki going to be cut in half in the next page? What in the world went on this chapter? What in the actual heck? Okay, I mean, I know what happens, but like, first of all, Cursed Devil confirmed, extremely cool. Somehow, it didn't kill him though, or like it did kill him, but then this person was able to resurrect this. But how? Like, it looks like he just sort of picks him up. I mean, part of it's just that we don't get to see what happens in between these panels. Like, was it literally grabbing someone by the scuff of their collar and pulling them up? Was it more of just a touch and then he stood up by his own power? What happens? What happens? I mean, I'm pretty sure Aki's not dead, but to be fair, absolutely not a thing that needs to happen in the same way that like every character we've seen so far that's been taken out by the followers of the Gun Devil, they could all be dead. There's no like reason why they can't be. That's just, normal Shonen Jump storytelling, but we are dealing with a brave man. So also, can we just appreciate the aesthetics of this? This is gorgeous. It's not so gorgeous that I'd use it as a cover. Like, I wouldn't use it as my background for my computer. But I don't know. If you trimmed it a little bit, like, get rid of this, obviously. Stretch it out a bit. It really depends on how it would look at 1080p. Because, like, you could also trim a bit from the top, a bit from the bottom. I could see it working. Like, it is so stylish. And I love that the slash is both, it breaks up the space, while at the same time, it is literally a slash going through Aki. Oh, it's so good. The style of Chainsaw Man is amazing. Well, I mean, I really don't have any big thoughts for this. I kind of said everything I possibly could, which is fine. The sword is finally interesting. I If Aki survives, I think it's going to be either like we'll see a third devil, and then it's just confirmed that he's got a lot of contracts, and we'll see like how that hashed out, how he's able to maintain so many, or I guess you don't have to maintain them, right? It's just when you call on the devil, they get a thing. So the big thing is just you don't call on them unless you absolutely need to. So I imagine Cursed Devil probably costs a lot to use. Boy, oh boy, though, like if the Cursed Devil costs a bunch, and the Cursed Devil takes whatever it usually takes from Aki, combined with this, combined with basically a death blow, I don't know if he's gonna survive. Whew, well, that was Chainsaw Man. Really, nothing else to say. It was extremely short, but it was extremely good. I wouldn't actually hesitate at all. It's above Black Clover. So currently the rankings are Chainsaw Man, Black Clover, Actage, We Never Learn, Food Wars, and Samurai 8 at the very bottom. How many series do you think will survive? Okay, so I haven't currently read Tokyo. I'm about to do that right now, but before I start Tokyo Shinobi Squad, um, at the very start during the not live stream, I did mention I feel like Tokyo Shinobi Squad feels like a attack slash response to Samurai 8 just by the nature of the name and this cover page. Because the main character is very vaguely Naruto-esque, like no blue eyes, sure, but he's got green. He's got not normal eyes. He's got blonde hair. He's got a thing on his face. It's not as completely out there as Naruto's weird whiskers, fat folds, whatever those are. But like it's still enough. There's enough there to like make the distinction come across. There's maybe some sort of electric power, which I guess is more of a Chidori thing than a Rasengan, but still. Like, especially because it's coming out in the same updates, quote unquote, as Samurai 8, it feels like it's intentional. It feels like there is sort of an attack there in the same way that, not in the same way that, like, Double Taisei and Beast Children are both sports series, but I don't feel like they are trying to intrude upon one another. They feel so distinctly different from what I've seen. I've only read the first chapter of Beast Children, to be fair, but like it feels way more physical. It feels more like it's focusing on the sports. Whereas Double Taisei is not really about the sport here. I mean, shogi itself is very different from rugby. But on top of that, Double Taisei is much more about its gimmick than Beast Children, which seems to be like, it seems like it's focusing way more on the rugby. So, of the series that have just started, I'd say Samurai 8, it's probably going to stick around just because Kishimoto's working on it. Double Taisei, I feel like it's going to die. Beast Children, Donut seems to really like it, and I'm not in the demographic for sports series for the most part, so I think it's like, I don't think I have a great opinion on that. I would just say probably because Haikyuu is, I think it's coming to an end. Is it? Does anyone know if that's coming to an end? I didn't know Kimetsu no Yaiba felt like it was in the final arc. Soma definitely dying. Soma was actually confirmed to be in the last 3 chapters, so Soma's basically dead. Promised Neverland. I mean, Promised Neverland's in the final arc, but it's a final arc that could go for quite a while. So, who knows how long Hinamaru Zumo has left to live? Yeah. I mean, hopefully the same thing happened with Robo, where like Robo had a bad arc, an arc that I personally really hated. I was going to drop the series over it. And because of that, even though the series immediately got really, really good after that arc, when the volumes came out for that arc, it tanked, and the series really suffered as a result. Even though the volumes after that arc went back up, they were still selling great. Just that one arc was so bad. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I wouldn't wish that for any series. Of all those, did I answer the question? Oh yeah, Shinobi Squad. Haven't read it, just about to. I will let you know at the end of the first chapter whether I think it's going to make it or not. So, we are starting Tokyo Shinobi Squad. It's year 2049. Oh boy. An overcrowded cacophony rises from the city of sin. Retribution is delivered by Shinobi. So already very futuristic. It seems like it's taking place in our timeline as opposed to like a complete fantasy timeline. Okay, chapter 1, Jin Narumi. Oh man, even this outfit is, I wouldn't say it's exactly like part 2 Naruto's outfit, not really, but like it's even got the black and black and orange, but it's it's inverted because it's part 2. Other designs, don't really care about them. Very eh. The art looks okay so far, but I mean, at the very least, the colors look fine. Nothing really stand out thus far though. Okay, so jumping right off of Chainsaw Man and the legendary, you can't get guns in Japan. We're in Japan, very clearly pulling out a gun. What happened in the last couple years? It's only been, 20 years from right now? Like, assuming Tokyo Shinobi Squad is, in fact, completely true to life, as I assume with every Jump series, it's of course they're all documentaries. What's become of this country? So much for globalization. So much for globalization. Okay, starting off kind of right-wing. Like, I assumed that he was going to make the lighter explode, but he didn't. He used electricity to pick up the lighter and then throw it. And then it hit, the gas and the car exploded. Fine, sure. Kind of weird. The year 2049, Tokyo. The city is now the greatest center of crime in the world. It all started 20 years ago. Okay, so it started now. I was saying that kind of as a joke, but okay. The Prime Minister wanted to bring every aspect of Japan up to international standards. To meet the goal, he proposed the Galapagos reforms, of course, playing off of the Galapagos. What was it called again? Like, basically, cell phones in Japan are distinctly different from cell phones across the world due to, I think it's called just the Galapagos effect. Is it? Galapagos. Japan. Galapagos syndrome. It's the idea that, like, it's something that can come out everywhere, but because Japan is so weird and unique and special, and, like, their internet setup is different, the culture around cell phones is very different. Like, because of that, Japan just creates things that are extremely unique. So, how does that tie into this? How does globalization not mesh with this? Massively expensive public works project, the Japanese government constructed hyperloops connecting with Japan, with Russia, China, and the USA. All right. The goal was a super globalization of Japan, but what the policy brought about were massacres, slums, terrorist groups, the fusion of businesses and organized crime. I mean, that was in Japan already. Crime and violence spread like a disease, transformed Japan into a lawless nation. So, oh god, every single time. Thank you, homie. Tokyo Shinobi Squad, Chapter 1. I mean, is this a thing I really do? I feel like I don't anymore. Unless someone calls it out. I want to do it. Like, it makes sense, but I don't. Also, I was gonna say, like, your comment there about Sweden is legitimately just, it is what's happening here. Like, we have to get political about it, because this is just straight up, hey, if Japan goes global, if globalization happens, if we allow people to immigrate to Japan, Japan's definitely going to turn into a lawless slum. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but, I mean, that is certainly an opinion. Also, I can kind of already see the dynamic here of, shinobi, which are very inherently Japanese, fighting the forces of globalization, perhaps? Okay, so right off. So he is the Jin that the chapter's named after. Oh boy, we even got a ramen stand. Though I guess it's not a ramen stand. Like, this man is very clearly Chinese, I think. Actually, maybe not. He might be Turkish. Okay, so ultimately good guy, I guess. Like, he doesn't care about money at the very least, and it seems like he is relatively skilled. Like, if I'm going to do Naruto comparisons, let's do Naruto comparisons. Our main character is definitely starting off, like, skilled. He has abilities. He seems to be well-regarded enough, but at the same time, he's clearly not making a lot of money. So also, he's not just a freelancer. Like, he does have a squad. We haven't seen it yet, but he has a squad. And will you be paying for your food today? Nope, of course not. That was so smooth. Like, because we did see him before, but I guess he just had no idea who this was. I'd like to. Okay. He wants to hire me for 100 bots. Bot, I know in, like, right now, bot is not worth very much. 100 bots to CAD. Oh, it was already coming up. Yeah, like $5. So probably not going to cut it. Though I guess it really depends on how the exchange rates worked out. Like, if Japan is really this bad, if it's the most lawless place in the world, then maybe the cost of living has gone down too. In Japan, baht isn't worth the paper it's printed on. Right. Which makes sense. Like, Japanese yen because it's endemic, American dollars because American dollars are, the currency. They're the currency that kind of underpin most other currencies in the world. Or euros. That's a surprising one. So I guess this this mangaka is very much of the notion that Japan is going to collapse if it, like, completely opens its borders, but at the same time, the Eurozone is still doing fine. That's an interesting opinion. I don't think I've ever heard someone with that opinion specifically. It's usually one way or the other. I've been searching for a shinobi to help me protect my Ninpo scroll. So also, he has a Ninpo scroll. If we assume it's something he's owned himself, then that also, like, again, with the globalization thing, because he's so extremely not Japanese, because he's, oh, sorry, jumped forward a bit, didn't see anything. Like, because he is so clearly a foreigner, my immediate assumption was, yeah, definitely not related. He's just hiring him for something that is completely, I don't know, like an in-group thing, maybe some sort of, like, Thai gang. But it seems like that's not the case at all. Mayweather? I mean, I guess it's just a guy with the last name of Mayweather. I thought for a minute we were going to literally bring in Floyd Mayweather. I mean, it's been 20 years. It could be a descendant. We don't know. Okay, so they were targeting him specifically for the scroll. Like, they knew he had it. Also, feels very Naruto-esque. I mean, if the main character gets his hand on this Ninpo scroll and then proceeds to use it to learn a forbidden jutsu, then I think we can fully draw the comparisons. Where are we going with this? Oh, okay, he's gonna kill her, isn't he? Are we gonna do that? Like, that would definitely set the tone of the series. Like, so far, it could really go in any direction. What happens to this lady is definitely going to set it. I mean, I guess we already have globalization being evil and a Shinjuku being the center of Japan's sex work industry, so we've already kind of set the tone. Oh boy, what is that? Like, my first assumption was that it was like one of his ribs, but it looks like it's coming from the tail area. Hmm. Okay, well then, that was actually a lot more brutal than I expected. Like, specifically throwing her into the air and then being washed with her blood. That is, yeah, that's a bit extreme. I mean, the fact that our boy here specifically told me whether, like, hey, you should get master an Ninpo style, implies that, yeah, like, regardless of your ethnicity, you can definitely become a shinobi, which is an interesting thing to do with the series. Like, it's not a specific thing, it's not clan-based. It might be clan-based, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like you can just pick up a style and be a shinobi if you want to. I mean, this kid was on the cover, so I feel like he's probably going to be the other main character then, which would be cool in its own rights. Like, if he joins Jin's squad and then, like, he gets to be the... How do I put this? Like, Jin is the main character. He is the person that everyone looks at. Like, he's the one we follow. He's the one with the complicated story. But then the coming of age story is this kid's. That would be a really neat dynamic. I've seen a few series that do that, and it always works. It's always, like, great because you don't have to have the main character be the one going on the journey. Or you can give them a more interesting journey that isn't quite as by the books. Oh, we're going to visit my teammate. I mean, the series is called Tokyo Shinobi Squad, so are we getting the whole squad in Chapter 1? I assumed because the start of the chapter was, Jin, it was his name. I thought we were going to just stick with him and then, slowly be introduced to the squad. To be fair, at the very start, I thought he was just going to make the squad. I didn't think that this would be a series where, like, the main character's that well set up from the very starts. Yeah, exactly. It's a Toriko dynamic. Or, if you like Rider, Kabuto basically does that. I mean, Hibiki does it way more so, but Kabuto is a good example of, like, where you have the cool character that does cool stuff all the time, and then the other character who isn't quite as cool, but who comes into his own over the course of the series. Interesting, like, perspective here. Not sure if it works. Like, it's kind of a fisheye. Yeah, it's kind of a fisheye shot, but then she isn't fisheyed. Like, if she were fisheyed, she would also be bending. But here, it's more like this looks like a normal shot that would be, like, framed in a normal doorway, but just the doorway is fisheyed. That hurts my head to look at. Okay. Also, she knows Thai. That's pretty cool. I was just talking to someone about the logistics of living in a hotel. It is surprisingly an exciting idea. Like, as long as you can pay per month. Like, usually hotels will do, like, discounted rates if you want to live there or if you want to be there for an extended period of time. And it is pretty nice. Like, you've got room service. You can call up and down if you need some stuff. Generally, they're situated in a good area or, like, an interesting, well-connected part of town. But, being in the hotel is usually a lot cheaper than getting an apartment or buying a house. Like, it can work. It just depends on your situation. It does imply that she makes a lot of money, though, which is interesting. Like, assuming they're from the same squad, then why is he just the one who is always broke? Like, that immediately brings to mind the idea that he has some other thing he has to pay for, like, someone on life supports or some other such costs, which would also be a neat way of having him be, super broke all the time while keeping, like, the squad itself flush with money. Oh, yeah. How come you can speak Thai? Or I assume it's not that normal then, if he's surprised by it. Even Jin can speak 23 languages. That is not what I expected from him. Like, he definitely feels like he's supposed to be the typical dumb kind of main character. but he definitely isn't. Like, he seems to be extremely competent and extremely intelligent. Or not extremely, but, intelligent enough to know 23 languages. I mean, he is extremely shonen, but just not in the way I expected, which is a compliment. It's definitely a compliment. Okay, we're already shutting down the ship at the very start. But that's fair. Like, yeah, like they are a team. That also means, like, if we want to cram in a romance, it could just be a romance, like, with the newer recruits, as opposed to one with a bunch of characters that have already been working for a long time, but they've never done anything. Also, good, like, setup in the sense that, like, how do I put this? It's the same naming scheme as the Jutsu in Naruto, except instead of actually, I guess it's the other way around. Like, it's Ninpo and then the name of the technique, as opposed to technique name and then after end, no jutsu. Oh boy. I guess the big question is, how is this going to go down? Like, are we going to see that our squad is extremely competent, that these guys can't pose a threat? Or are they going to completely storm this, this apartment? Because it's also, like, I mean, it's not an apartment, it's a hotel. So presumably they could even say, like, the hotel was easily attacked in chapter 1 because it's not our home base, it wasn't set up properly. There's only so much you can do in a public space, something to that effect. Like, I didn't know. I don't think he's a Sly Cooper per se, but, like, I get the dynamic that you're talking about, and I definitely feel like she could be God, what was her name? Carmelia? God, I've only ever seen the name. I don't remember how it sounds, but I do agree with you. Okay, already took off the bandage too. Like, because he has a bandage in the same spot as Jin, I kind of figured, like, maybe that's going to stay throughout the whole series. Though I guess maybe it is. Because, I mean, he took off the bandage and it's already bleeding, so presumably he has to put another bandage on it. That's how cuts work. I mean, this is the first time we've seen him not smiling. He was putting up a pretty strong front. I really want him to join the squad now. Like, he could just be a customer. But also, like, I really want the dynamic now. I'm so excited. You know what happens to people who try to hurt my friends? Okay. This feels so action movie. Also, you really can't do this. You really can't. I can't get over it. It's so dumb. It's so extremely dumb, but I do love that. Okay, so, but yeah, everyone's intelligent. I mean, the other squad clearly not that intelligent. If they think that you can that, and then immediately go back to, nah, it's room service though. It's fine. Oh, okay. Crack at the window. Maybe some more sound info. Oh, magnetic field technique. Okay, so that definitely explains the lighter. I was so confused about that, but okay. So presumably he was like, he was repelling the or I guess not even repelling. Like, he was probably just using magnetic forces to make it float. Oh, never mind. So it was repulsion. Okay, time required to master approximately 5 years. Assume, like, he could just be a prodigy. That's not unheard of, but that also adds some weight to this. Like, why can't he just pick up more ninpo? Because it takes a long time to master them. I think that will also, like, that'll create the usual shonen dynamic of everyone has, like, one specific technique slash, ability that is theirs that you can focus on and be like, oh yeah, that's the thing that this person does, as opposed to people with, like, a wide variety of techniques. Uh, was that a punch or was it, like, actually shooting lightning? I can't see where his hand is. Like, this is the usual pose that people do when it's supposed to be, a punch that is obscured by energy. So I think it is just meant to be a punch called the lightning strike. God, okay. That's a good panel. That's a very good panel. Okay. Naturally, being kidnapped. Oh. Okay, so this is, again, we're doing the I guess Torko didn't do this. But, this person that you thought might just be a random character is actually extremely important moments. I mean, we also got that in Samurai 8, but it wasn't done very well. This is already much more compelling. Jeez. I mean, he's willing to just let an innocent woman bleed all over him, so wasn't really expecting him to hold back. We should have never picked a fight against him. All right, where's that name drop? Also, you are right. Like Toriko is well known. It's just I don't. Did we in the first few chapters? Did we get a moment of that man? That man. He's Toriko. I know we had the moment where he kills. What was that first animal? But he kills it and everyone freaks out. Like he is extremely competent. But this feels like a slightly different thing. Like this is he's Jianarumi. The fact that the magnetic field technique is something that is uniquely his also means I assume that we're not going to see anyone else using it in the series. Or if we do, that's going to be someone like deeply tied to his to his specific like school of martial arts. What was it again? The Book of Lightning? Yes, the Book of Lightning. I mean, I guess theoretically this could just be one technique in like the overall Book of Lightning. Like there could be other abilities all based around electricity, and this is just the one he happened to master. Okay, Jin Army, independent at the young age of 17. In a short time, the innately talented youth gathered up a band of powerful allies and made big waves in the profession. We're always seeing the girl and someone else. So is it just the three of them, perhaps? He was also rumored to be involved in the Justin Bieber incidents. What do you mean? Are we not answering that? Are we leaving it as the Justin Bieber incident? Oh boy, I mean, it is 20 years in the future. Who knows? Okay. I didn't notice that this was a kunai. I thought he said iron fork. I thought he stabbed himself with a fork and then said iron fork technique. I didn't fully understand what was happening there. But okay, so he's covering his hand in iron. I assume that's going to increase the power of his punches, perhaps? It also does explain, why this random punk can have a ninpo. Like, it's a high-risk, high-reward technique. That's the reason why he can be a match at all, assumedly. Oh, he can drive? Really? How old is he? I mean, how old is he / what are the driving laws in Tokyo now? Also, that's a good way to force arcs to end. Like, running away means that you can't, your reputation will tank. So either at some point he'll have to run away, or most likely for the majority of the series, he will never run away. Like, he can't leave people alive. He has to go off and take them out because otherwise, it'll be bad for his entire squad. Some things are more important than saving face, like protecting your team, no matter how scared you get or how badly you want to run away. What was that? Wait, what? What did he create? It looks like half of a sphere that he's using to just smack things. Is that it? Is it that simple? Okay, so he was leaping there. Are we doing a railgun? Does he have a railgun technique? His stance is that electromagnetic induction. Yep, we're railgunning it. Okay, that is extremely cool. Also, very good stance, very instantly iconic. I've definitely seen it before in other series, but it fits. It works really well. It's a good finisher. Oh boy, he's dead. He's definitely dead. Okay, so he recognizes as just immediately on sight. This is the technique of remembrance. What could that be? What could the technique of remembrance be in a fighting situation? I'm looking at these with the assumption that these are shinobi techniques. They most likely all have some sort of fighting purpose. I mean, it could just be a copy technique. It could be something like remembering how someone else fought and then using their abilities exactly. Or it could just be something like it's a technique that is useful because it's like Moody Blues from JoJo's. It allows you to find information. It's good for recon, and because of that, it's extremely dangerous. That would also explain why it is that he's so certain that N will die. It's not just that dangerous shinobi are going to go after him. It's also that this is an ability that he can't use to fight with. He can't protect himself with it. If you're going to survive in this country, you need a team you can count on, one that won't lie to you or betray you. For us shinobi, those are called squads. And join my squad. Oh, we're doing it. We are doing it. And yeah, not even leaving it on a cliffhanger of will he, won't he? Nope, did it. He absolutely joins. Okay, really, really good first chapter. Extremely good. The art is, I'd say it's nothing special. It's okay in some places, in others. Definitely a lot of, backgrounds that were stripped away for the sake of combats. It does have a very, it's not stylish enough for me to think oh yeah, it's Bleach-esque in how it erases backgrounds in order to do cool stuff. Like, it's not that stylistic, but it is generally well drawn. It's not quite as sketchy as series like Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen, but it does have a sketchiness to it that doesn't look bad. Like, it looks clean. And at the very least, there's not a ton of shading, but there is shading. This actually does shading in a good way, where like there's not a lot of it. There's a lot of white, but it still frames everything in a way where it's very easy to tell what's happening at any given point. I guess it's also that, like we don't have orbs of amorphous white floating everywhere. Did you notice the Lackey Girl's name? What, Papillion? Overall, good series. Already more into it than like not even like on a one chapter to one chapter basis. In terms of the 4 chapters of Samurai 8 out right now versus this first chapter of Tokyo Shinobi Squad, definitely more into it. Probably my favorite jumpstart of the 4. I mean, absolutely. I dropped 2 of them. I mean, I dropped 2 of them on the channel in the sense I'm not doing them on the channel. And Samurai 8 is very quickly becoming a dropped series as well. So far, Tokyo Shinobi Squad definitely hitting it out of the park. It is good. Oh, the evil dude's lackey. You mean what, Mayweather? Yes. Yep, noticed that for sure. Overall, good. Not, I mean, I assume we're going to see the third guy. Also, the way it was framed, I did notice that Jin takes up most of the screen, implying that maybe someone's in front of him. Maybe there are multiple people in front of him. The squad can be however big they want it to be. The girl lackey. What do you mean, girl lackey? Was there a female lackey? Was there? I mean, I assume you don't mean this lady. Oh wait, do you mean this person? I didn't think that this was a girl. That okay. That doesn't really bring much to mind. I mean, immediately the first thing that comes to mind is John Cena, but I highly doubt that's the reference. Or actually, is this supposed to be a reference to Sia, like the singer? Because the hair and the fact that it's covering her eyes is very Sia-esque. I mean, overall, is she a girl? Is that a girl? Like, do we have a good, like, full page moment with her at all? Okay, we are moving on. We're just moving on. Wait, you can see the rack. Wait a minute. Can you? I get. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do see it now. I mean, not impressed, but I'll take your word for it. Like, I mean, I guess you wouldn't draw that in for a guy, right? I guess. Anyways, that was Tokyo Shinobi Squad. Weird ending to this reaction, but overall, good series. Probably putting it below Chainsaw Man for sure. Maybe below Black Clover. That seems fair. Actage wasn't as good as this. Like, this was a good first chapter. I was definitely into it for sure. But that is yeah, let's just move on. Let's move on to One Piece, chapter 944, Partner. Okay, request. Hancock blushing after putting a straw hat on a young monkey wearing a Luffy t-shirt. Well, this is definitely better than anything Noted Skywalker suggested in quite a while. Like, this is what I want from a One Piece cover. We've got a monkey. We've got the pun of Monkey D. Luffy, which I don't think I mean, people have wanted it, I guess. It's wearing an outfit that just says monkey on it. What does it say here? Does that just say Oda? I assume so. I mean, I guess there's an O here and a D there. It's small. It's too small to be like completely an A, but maybe it's an A. Anyways, One Piece, very. I don't know. I am so shaken after what's her face from Tokyo, whatever. Let's move on. Let us move on. So Zoro and Sanji together once again for the first time in literally years. As someone pointed out last week, literally all of My Hero Academia has come out in the time between when Zoro and Sanji were physically in the same place. Like since the last time that was the case, which is completely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. What is going on? Oh boy, these are some bad puns too. These are some extremely bad puns. Oh, is it his bounty? Okay, yes, that actually does make a lot of sense. I mean, it feels like Zoro's absolutely gonna try and kill him. That's a bad idea. Shouldn't happen. But I mean, realistically speaking, is there a reason why Orochi can't die here? Not whether it's a good idea or not, but is there a reason why he needs to stick around for the rest of the arc? Not really. I mean, he's extremely important, and it would be nice to have him as, this character who sticks around and who has to watch his horrible fear come to life as he sees that, the return of the blades. He sees the ghosts of the past finally come back after 20 years. Like that'd be cool. But I mean, if Zoro were to kill him right now, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, it would be a big deal, but like it wouldn't be a series breaking deal. Okay. Yep. I mean, especially here, especially in a place where, like, you'd want to give him a proper burial somewhere far away where his grave won't be disturbed. Yeah, definitely. Get the body. Oh boy. I mean, hopefully they don't split up and then stay split up for the rest of the arc. Real hoping that's not the case. But I mean, again, I can't be against Zoro for this. He was there. He was in Ebisu. He saw what the smiles did to that place. He hung out with Toniyasu. Ah. Okay, Boss Kyoshiro saves him. Which, I mean, again, it seems like Kyoshiro is playing a long con. Like, clearly he doesn't care that much about Orochi. He definitely, is willing to keep secrets from him, but at the same time, he doesn't want him to die just yet. So what could this possibly be? Like, why keep him around? One thing is that, maybe he'll pass some legislation or something that's important. Probably not. That seems a bit too dry for this arc. Uh, it might be that he just wants to keep Orochi around until he can be taken out in a more stylish public way. Like, if he can be taken out by heroes, by the resistance, as opposed to, by Zorojuro, this, like, random wandering, murderer, then that would definitely have more power to it. Also, in a meta sense, it just allows us to see him actually being a good fighter. Like, he's able to block a strike from Sanji, or from Zoro. That's pretty big. Pretty big. I mean, also, we got this shot of Komurasaki noticing him. So, clearly, there's something here. There's something here. Oh, okay. Yep, Drake's rampaging. Things are going real bad. I mean, all they can really do is just get out at this point, right? Like, there's no other thing to do apart from get the body, get out. All right, I mean, Frankie's cover now completely blown. Or not completely blown, but it's blown enough. It's pretty blown. All right, they got the body. Okay, interesting panel here. After all, I am the Shogun's dog. It feels very, like, self-mocking. That might just be because of this context I've built up around him, but, like, I can't imagine someone who is truly loyal saying it with this, like, visual specifically. Like, his eyes are so squinted. He looks so, like, I guess that would work if he was legitimately just super duper ultra evil. But it feels like a deceptive look. It feels like he's making a joke to himself and he doesn't care who hears it or if anyone understands it. Yeah, the Pills Are Here one. I think that's actually a really good idea. Like, the main thing that, killing him here wouldn't accomplish would be, like, the ultimate downfall of Orochi. Like, if we're gonna do it, if we're gonna keep him around, then I think we do need a massive downfall, both in universe and out of universe. Like, we need him to see that the 20 years have passed, the ghosts from the past have risen once again, Wano is no longer his, everything he has built up is being toppled, and at the same time, all those people who've been oppressed for 20 years, they're gonna want to see that too. They're gonna want that retribution. They are going to want that, they're gonna want to see Orochi pay. It would also just be cool to see the how many blades were there? Was it 9? It wasn't 8. If it was 8, I would have absolutely taken notice of it. But I think there's like I want to see if there's enough to cut off like one Orochi head each. Like assuming Orochi goes into his like his full monster form to fight. Because then we could get a beheading from each of it was Dalkazaya 9, right? I'm dumb. Yeah, so it could be one head each, and then if cutting off all the heads still doesn't kill him, the final the final member can just stab him in the heart. Yeah, Orochi does deserve something on par with the 7-page Muda. If it was a 9-page like killing move, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I'm not sure if I'd go that far actually, just because One Piece arcs are so self-contained. I mean, I guess JoJo's parts are also pretty self-contained, so never mind. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for the 9-page beheading. Okay, I mean, it doesn't look like Queen's all that concerned, so presumably things are a lot better. Huh? It's Hitokiri Kamazo, who apparently failed in his duty to the Shogun. Who in the world is Hitokiri Kamazo? Oh boy. I'm fairly sure we haven't seen that name before. Could be absolutely wrong. Probably am completely wrong. And would you believe it, we also caught the escaped Captain Kidd along the way. Okay, where are we going with this? Like, are we just gonna get a fight in the ring, perhaps? Huh. He was shouting and rushing right at us. We shot him a few times, but he didn't try to run at all. What is going on with Kidd? What could he possibly be freaking out over? Wait, was that Hitokiri Kamazo? That was him? Wait. Okay. I thought you hated the way you laugh, and that was why you stopped yourself from laughing ever again. Hmm? That was why you end up covering your face with that mask. Wait a minute. Is this Killer? I mean, I know it's Hitokiri Kamazo, but is Hitokiri Kamazo Killer? That doesn't seem right. I mean, we do have the smiles, but the smiles don't brainwash you is the thing. So that would still leave the question of why the hell Killer is on Kaido's crew. What did Kaido do to you? Or was it Orochi? Where did everyone go? Answer me. Talk to me, Killer. Okay, so it is Killer. Surprising. I mean, he has this almost like Doflamingo feel to him, like with the laugh and the like weird fluffy stuff around him, whatever that is. And I guess, the fact that his bandaged face looks kind of vaguely like sunglasses. But I guess no, it doesn't here. I mean, it does make sense. He was a swordsman. Also, he was, he's the Zoro for Kid's crew. Like, none of the other supernovas have another supernova on their crew, apart from Luffy and Killer. Or not Killer, Kid. So, I guess that makes sense. Like, if both Zoro and Killer are supposed to have a Wano connection, that, like, we have that parallel going on. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, okay, so I guess it is just bandaged up. What in the world, though? So far, we haven't seen any brainwashing. We have seen, like, the people in Ebisu Town do seem to, like they've rationalized their laughing with a cultural tradition, sure. But that doesn't seem like brainwashing. It seems like something they did to themselves just naturally. So does eating smiles also like does it confer some sort of brainwashing, some sort of like mush-mindedness? I could see that. Like, because they're all supposed to be Zoans, maybe like, even if you don't get the power, maybe it does make you more pliable, more easily controlled or something to that extent. That's okay, that's a big twist. Definitely did not see that coming. Also, okay, so I guess they're not going to be in the ring. I was really banking on that Luffy versus Kid deathmatch, but I guess not. Yeah, okay, still there. I see. But alright, it's time to resume the Sumo Inferno. The new rule is that they stay in the water as long as you're alive, so we'll only pull them out once you guys are dead. Yeah, that's a bit heavy. That is the series doesn't really bring this up enough, though. Like, yeah, every human being can drown in just 2 inches of water. It is extremely easy to drown, and that is the great equalizer with all devil fruits. If you sink down to the bottom of the ocean, you'll drown. I mean, you don't have to. Like Jack was able to just hold his breath for a long time. It's completely doable. But like, if you start drowning, you can drown. It's possible. It's completely possible for everyone in the series to drown, except for the fishmen, unless they did devil fruit, and then they can absolutely still drown. Yeah, probably not the best idea. Is that the Infinity Gauntlet? Who said you could feel hope? What makes you think you're getting out of here alive? But yeah, he hasn't eaten his Oshiruko. It's about time for Big Mom to show up. Like, we've been really letting that plot element hang for a little bit. The only one who decides where I'll die is me. Oh, speak of the devil. Big Mom is here. She wants Oshiruko. The Oshiruko is all gone. So, oh boy, I can't wait. I really do want a Big Mom Queen sumo match. I don't know if that's going to be the case though. As I've said before, Big Mom is unbelievably powerful. She killed a giant as a small child. I mean, small relative to her. Small in years, not in size. But I mean, even in size, she basically just ran into a giant so hard that it died. I don't think Queen has a single hope of a chance. And also, Luffy is weakened because of the Sea Stone Cups, so we don't have the fear of him just not killing Big Mom, but trying to punch Big Mom in the face, which I feel like he would immediately try to do if he notices her here. So yeah, okay, so good chapter. Not as good as the last few chapters. Cover page, absolutely fantastic. 10 out of 10. This is legitimately one of my favorite cover pages that Oda's done in quite a while. Like, it's actually a really fun premise. Rest of the chapter, pretty good. Kind of scared that the Straw Hats are going to split up and not assemble for the rest of the arc once more. Very scared about that. Oh, really? That's a really good theory. Yeah, Killer the Massacre, and then Kamazo the Manslayer. That's really neat. I mean, props to whoever figured that out. I have historically been awful with the expanded, or not expanded universe. That's the wrong way to say it. But theories that involve fringe characters in One Piece. I've always been absolutely awful at putting those together until unless someone brings up an idea, then I can usually chain upon that. But I have nothing but extreme respect for anyone who's able to properly do that. Overall, good chapter. I've never been a big fan of Kid's Crew, but hopefully this arc does make me more interested in him. This especially, if I imagine it from the Straw Hats perspective, if I imagine Zoro being forced to laugh constantly and also being brainwashed, that's pretty heartbreaking. From that perspective, I can definitely I can feel the feels. Overall, let's put that I'd say it's above Food Wars for sure. Is it above We Never Learn this week? It wasn't the greatest We Never Learn. I do think that Act Dodge was a bit better, so let's put it there. That seems fair. So that was One Piece. Next is also yeah, I mean, if I had to choose one member of the crew to just laugh uncontrollably all the time forever, I mean, I wouldn't want it to be Luffy. I mean, Luffy, honestly, that would affect him the least. Assuming it doesn't also make him insane / brainwashed. If it's just the laughing constantly, I probably would choose Luffy. Because Zoro, extremely out of character, very weird. Sanji, deeply, deeply disturbing. Especially if he's going to try and go invisible and peek on women. Feels like a bad combination. Nami, I mean, again, also extremely out of character, but I probably wouldn't mind that much. Chopper probably better than Luffy, actually. With Chopper, I don't know if I'd actually notice. It's just Chopper. It's fine. He was always like that, sure. Brook, yeah, Brook's basically laughing all the time as well. He's basically the same as Sanji in this respect, except it's not that weird for him to try to peep on women while constantly laughing. That's just normal for Brook as well. Robin, absolutely cursed. Probably the worst person you could possibly have laughing constantly. I would be horrified by that. I guess it does depend on whether it's the she laugh or whether it's like, is it Dara she or is it like an actual belly laugh? I mean, I guess this is, Killer's laugh. This is the laugh that he hated. So I guess, but no, because Saul told Robin to laugh like that. That's not her natural laugh. So I guess she wouldn't do that. I guess it would just be like a straight up belly laugh, which would be extremely weird. Did I miss anyone? Oh yeah, Usopp. Usopp, very weird. Wouldn't want that. So overall, Jinbei, Jinbei would be fine. He'd feel like some sort of massive good luck charm if he was laughing all the time. So overall, good chapter. If I'm pretty okay with the idea of Brooke constantly laughing all the time, but overall, terrifying idea. Would not want. Sure hope that Luffy doesn't get super hungry in this arc and just eat a ton of smiles. That seems like a bad idea. Next is The Promised Neverland, chapter 136. Maze. Man, I just spoiled myself on the fact that there's another color page. I didn't see it, but I sure saw color. It's been a while since Posca's done like a cover page, and then on top of that, a 2-page covers like color spread at the same time. Like, her art's so good. This isn't the best, but like I do like the aesthetic here, and it is a cool idea of like giant Emma in the hideouts. It looks super neat. I kind of want to see like an evil version of this if the hideout ever gets like taken over. Like imagine Luvis or someone hanging there, just like sticking his fingers into one of the houses back there. It'd be cool. But this is super adorable. Now, what is this other color spread? Oh, extremely different aesthetic. Like also very sketchy. The transparency here looks so good. I'm not sure if this is supposed to convey anything in particular, though. Like, I'm assuming these are all the kids that are like still with them, right? Like, is that Gilda? God, that is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, again, rain, very hard to do. Rain bouncing off of transparent, transparent umbrellas, so difficult. I mean, some of these are very sketchy, so it's not that terrifying, but still, like, it's a really cool aesthetic, and I really wonder if this was done digitally or not. Like, especially like the reflections here. The reflections feel very digital in terms of the fact, like, how do I put it? There's like a certain smoothness to digital reflections. Like, even if they're not literally reflections, even if they are just like a glimpse of the person, or like just a partial reflection, there's still something to it. It looks too good. Also true. I mean, okay, sub out Luvis with Luvis's sister. Like, if she were here, like sticking her fingers into things, it's the same aesthetic. Okay. So this looks like we're coming like, yeah, right from when they were like descending. Like they're still descending. Let's play, let's play, let's play, let's play. Oh, this feels so wild. Like this feels like the end of a video game. Like this is the moment where they take all the assets that they've already made and mash them all together in a weird way in order to really freak you out. Someone mentioned that this is a lot like some of the color pages, and I can agree with that. Like some of the really trippy color pages, not like this one in particular, but it's the same aesthetic. They're having a lot of color pages where like they use the space that's already been set up in a way that clearly is not meant to be literal, and that's really what this is doing as well. It's super. I mean, I guess it is literal, but it's it's so weird. We keep coming to the same place, but the rooms are all a little different. I guess this is just showing that, yeah, it's the same arrow. It's supposed to be the same arrow, but it's being shown a bunch of different weird ways. Oh no, did I cut out? Did I cut out? No, I don't think so. My chat cut out there for a bit. It was weird. It does remind me a lot of 2001. Yeah, apart from the arrows and like, the obvious non-linear space, the only thing that really jumps out to me is the reversed poachers here, which is still on the wall. Like it's not on the ground or something. Oh no, it is. That's the perspective shots. Like they're opening it up. It is the ground, but like everything else is flipped 90 degrees. Oh, that's so cool. It looks like Emma's kind of losing her mind, which, understandably. Even if we take the same route, same conditions, we come out to a different place. There seem to be no rules. Ah, right. Okay, we are bringing that up. So time, we didn't see like the date change at all, but we saw the characters change ages. Everything is unstable and crazy. It's so unlike the Promised Neverlands. Like this isn't even the magic that we saw around like Kavitidala, because the magic was straight up just like it's magic. This feels less like that and more just like time and space unfolding, or like folding itself in weird ways. It's like they're in an MC Escher drawing. It's so weird. If Gargablar can do all this, what exactly is it? I mean, they call it God. It feels like it's definitely reality warping in some sense. Oh no. Oh no. If Gargablar eats Sir Strumming, I'm going to lose my mind. Okay, what the Seven Walls really are. I mean, to be fair, they're not at the Seven Walls as far as we know. Like, before I look at the explanation, which I assume is there, I don't know. I literally do not know what the Seven Walls could possibly be. Tenerior, Teneris, Teneria, okay. When the arrow stops between the sands and the sun sets in the east, the earth will scream, their walls will appear. The thing which separates us and them, that is the Seven Walls. The thing which separates us and them, in this place, what's the thing that Gargablarg freely transcends that we can't? Space and time. Oh, a cube and an hourglass. Oh my god, that was meant to be a cube. I don't think I've seen anyone like try to decipher this symbol at all. But like I've definitely seen people talk about all the hexagons in the series. Like this is a cube, but it also is a hexagon. And most people jump to the hexagon because that's the way that Gracefield was laid out. Like, it was six, it was 5 farms and then one like extra space, all like in a hexagonal design. And we've seen other hexagons throughout the series. But have they all been cubes then? North, south, east, west, up, and down makes 6 directions of space. Cube, right? The arrow that stops between the sands is time standing still. Okay. Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. This is also very much something that they brought, or not exactly, but Samurai 8 was talking about this a little bit, right? Or am I just thinking about I might just be thinking about the other thing where it's like there are 7 things, but the series is called Samurai 8. That might be what I'm thinking of, like just the weird aesthetic thing. Okay, so the physical limit that is time and space, that's probably what the 7 walls are. It does explain, like, I mean, it doesn't explain it, but it ties into how Emma was able to talk to Gargablarg. Like, yeah, sure, you go to Kaviti Dala, and you can, like, minorly transcend time and space, but if you want to properly do it, you gotta go through the front gates. It, I don't know how you do that. How do 2 small children transcend space and time? How is that a thing? It does, like, it makes it seem a lot more epic, though. Like, in order to talk to God, in order to change the world, to come up with a new promise, you've got to literally go through space and time. Okay, when the arrow stops between the sands and the sun sets in the east. I mean, I don't think this refers to literal time travel. It could. That immediately came to mind. But first of all, that doesn't seem like it's in the MO of the Promised Neverland. I highly doubt they would reverse time, like go back to an earlier time and then like restart the promise or anything. It's got to be something closer to just like something they do here has to metaphorically or like symbolically stop time and reverse it. Like they have to do something completely outside of the realm of Gargablarg. Because that would also tie into the theory that they're here just to amuse him. Like Gargablarg is a kid and it wants to play with other kids. Like it's less like it's not literally transcending space and time. It's more transcending Gargablarg, doing something that it can't possibly comprehend, and therefore like doing something outside of its own limits, surprising it, making it freak out. So okay, yeah, still doesn't explain anything. I'm glad that Ray is like pointing that out. How do we transcend the limits of space time to get the Gargablarg? Hmm. I mean, they do keep on entering the same areas, but they've been remixed. So what could they do? It can't be as simple as just doing it linearly because they have no control over it. So how? I mean, now we have the um I don't want to check the riddle again because we're only like halfway through the chapter, but still, maybe I'll do it at the end. Okay, and so we are building up to that moment where we saw him as a super old man. Like he is slowly losing his mind. Okay, did something change? Did they do something different? Okay, nope. This is the desert. This is the place where he's gonna get lost. So, oh boy, here we go. Yeah, there's literal sand. There's a sun. Stop time and reverse it. Sure. I mean, okay, so now Emma's becoming a kid. Oh boy, I feel like this chapter is going to end right where we saw the last, big cliffhanger, or where we first saw Emma or Ray as an old man, like freaking out, wondering where Emma was. Okay. So she shattered apart into puzzle pieces, which has that's been a thing in the series for quite a while. It's been a couple of the cover pages. It was in the OP for the anime. I mean, metaphorically, it definitely ties into the whole game thing. Same with the boy, what are these called? The pinwheels. They're things that kids play with. Okay, it doesn't. So it's not that a ton of time passed, but it's more that because he was forgetting things, his body aged. It caught up with the fact that what if I stay here forever? What's going on? Oh boy, I don't even remember anything. I think that's why he's aging. The sixth painting on the ceiling, the last painting of Night and Day, didn't have demons in it until they were depicted in the arts. Okay. Again, are these actual demons that came here and died? Or, again, is it just a manifestation of this fear? Okay. All right, so Emma didn't completely get unborn. She's around. She figured something out. Don't know what it is, though. Huh. What could it be? What could it be? So, on my Imgur, I definitely saved the entire thing. I mean, I'm sure I could probably just find it online. Oh boy, okay, well. I mean, I'll look at that later, maybe. But where is this? Or not right up, but did anyone write down where it is? Or the just the pure contents of the riddle. Oh, I have it here. Never mind, I'm dumb. Search for day and night with the Eye of Dragon could be did all. I'm done. Okay, so this all refers to time travel. When the arrow stops between the sands and sun sets in the east, the earth will scream and the walls will appear. I mean, not a whole lot more than what we just covered in this chapter anyways. That's as simple as just, you gotta do it. It doesn't really hint at how to do it, just, you gotta do it. Listen, this is some extremely blessed fan art. Extremely blessed. Also, I was reading a very mediocre series recently, and Gus Fring from Breaking Bad appeared in it. That was very appealing. But anyways, I am legitimately stuck. I'm very glad that we learned about this. This was such a neat way of explaining space-time. I feel like another series very recently did something like this, but I don't remember what. How in the world? I mean, my main thing is really just, I don't think it's going to be time travel. It could be, sure, maybe. Actually, I think, one of my big things with any series is that you can always present an option. As long as it's not used, it's fine. It can be an awful option that would be terrible for the storytelling, but as long as you don't use it, it's fine if it exists. In that case, I think it's completely fine if Gargablarg straight up says, hey, I could just make a world where demons never ate humans. However, if I do that, this occurs. And then we get a flash to, whatever that future would be like. Or even, it could just be, I could create a world where the demons never existed. Therefore, all the good things that demons have done, all the good things in the human world that are a result of the pact with the demons, all of that disappears. It's all unknown, or even, it's all actually awful. It's more like our worlds, where, this is assuming that the human world in the Promised Neverland is, some sort of great paradise. I could see that happening. I could see it's, if they bring up the idea of time travel being the salvation of the world. I'd only enjoy that if the series then says, all right, we're not going to do that though. It's too horrifying. We're not going to do it. We're going to just continue forward with a promise that only works going forward. Yeah, basically, I'd be okay with a community setup of, all right, here's the, if, for want of a nail moments. Here's what happens if that doesn't happen. I don't want that to be the actual conclusion of the series. That would feel awful. If we get that color spread of, Emma Ray, Norman, and also Phil just going to school and it's all normal, and they're like, oh yeah, sure glad that we asked God nicely to fix everything and he sure did. Like that would feel awful. It's got to be more of a sacrifice. It has to be a hard question. Also, we're doing the whole thing with Norman, so I highly, highly doubt that Emma and Ray are going to properly get an answer here, or I don't think they're going to properly negotiate the freedom of the humans. It's got to be they're given a choice, or they're given a thing, and they're told, all right, so if you want to commit to this, then hit this button or do whatever. Until then, you're going back home, because we need to see Norman pulling off his plan, or at the very least starting his plan. We need things to get real messy. If it's as simple as Norman starting to do his plan and then Gargablarg shows up and is like, nope, sorry, rewriting reality, it would be just supremely uninteresting. Same with all the stuff we've seen of the demons and of the nobles. They have to do stuff, actually. We can't just unwrite them from existence. Definitely not, by the way. I mean, I guess Community had, the six-sided dice, but I'm talking specifically about a series that expressed the idea of space-time in either, 6 sides or 7 sides. As opposed to the normal way that most Western authors do it of it's 4 dimensions, it's, length, height, width, and then time. Anyways, moving on. Promised Neverland, good. Not as good as some of the peak Promised Neverland chapters, but definitely a really good chapter. It's what I want out of Promised Neverland. Bit dry, a bit drier than usual, though. So, is it as good as Chainsaw Man? Black Clover? It's around there, honestly. I don't quite know how I'd phrase it. I mean, even this, it's a good reveal, but it's not that interesting, all things considered. I mean, it's interesting. It definitely opens up the world a lot, but it's really one big thing. And we spent a lot of time building up to it, though. I'm all for authors just really flexing, really saying, hey, you know that thing that you were wondering about? Right here. You know those things you didn't even notice? Those were important. Really big fan of that. So, I guess I'll put that above Tokyo Shinobi Squad. Good, but not the best. That was a deep, deep, difficult reference. Boy, oh boy. Bad joke, bad joke. Extremely bad joke. Let's move on. Next is Dr. Stone. Z equals 107. Ace in the hole on the ship of science. All right. So, I mean, first of all, ace in the hole on the ship of science. So they have to go back to the ship. Is that possible? I mean, first of all, last chapter started off with, we need to make Kohaku pretty, which is not, I mean, is it going to be that they have stuff to make her pretty on the ship? That might be it. Or it might legitimately just be that, most of this chapter might be them trying to make Kohaku pretty, only to realize, oh no, she's awful. No one would ever like her. Which is inherently very strange. My understanding of what is and isn't sexual is extremely skewed, as you all know. But I'm pretty sure Kohaku's attractive. She's very clearly attractive. I know that. I've seen the almost, panty shots. You don't do that with a character that isn't meant to be attractive unless it's purely a goof. So, definitely attractive. It could legitimately just be, they'll go back to the ship, sneak past any guard that might be there. Maybe there's not even a guard. And then they'll, resurrect Yuzuriha. Just Yuzuriha. And then have her do it, maybe? So, your current outfit is cute, but it's not the sort that gets you into the harem. What gets you into the harem? By the way, the cat mouth on Kohaku has been consistent for the last couple of panels, ever since the last panel of the previous chapter. It's a cute look, especially this one, where it's it's a bit subdued. It looks good. It looks good on her. This is a bit more extreme. I mean, again, good outfits. I think she looks fine in it. And honestly, if you don't like athletic girls, I don't think Kohaku really fits as a buff girl, right? Especially in this shot, her legs are very slender. I feel like she had meatier thighs before. Even in this shot, you can see the wideness here. You can see, the almost drumstick-like look to him. Whereas here, they're definitely toned down. I mean, Dr. Stone is a series full of incredible expressions. The expressions are the best part of Dr. Stone. I mean, maybe secondary to the science? I don't know. Honestly, the expressions are up there with the science as like the selling point of the series. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely an outfit where you're not supposed to be fighting in it, so fair. Oh boy. They're really going all out with the cat mouth this chapter. Okay, so I can't do anything with what we've got on hand, but on the ship, I mean, I don't think they've ever made makeup, but maybe. Okay, so not specifically they have makeup, but they have the lab on the ship. That is also really cool, actually. Like, I didn't consider the idea that they set up the lab before. They set up the fact that, yeah, they can wheel it out, but they didn't wheel it out on this, in this arc yet, so. No boy, there are lights there. Clearly it's been taken over. I mean, why would it not be taken over? What is going on in chat? I mean, I'll let you guys hash out the buff girl thing. Oh boy. So this mustache he's definitely related to that other guy, one of her three suitors. Like, the guy with the weird mustache. Like, that has to be a genetic trait then, right? I didn't think that was possible, but clearly it's gotta be now. Oh boy, what is this design? Okay, so that's Kirisame. When I first looked at him, I assumed like her entire body was a part of his design. Like, I thought it was like some sort of extra part of his robe. And like I thought this thing coming out of her head, it was like coming out of his crotch. Slightly less insane than I thought, but still pretty insane. I don't want to detract from it. He looks absolutely bonkers. He looks like a JoJo's villain. Like, more so than any other villainous character in Dr. Stone ever has. He looks like a stand. Oh my god. Now, he definitely looks too old for me, though. Like, I'm gonna say he's not sexual. I feel like I gotta have standards. Nice Roldar, though. He looks like he's a fun character. Or not a good person, but he feels like I want him to be around. What am I trying to say? He feels like a character who should be around because he's going to be exciting to look at. Okay. So, immediately being shut down, even though she has, some of the instant stoning stuff. Though, to be fair, we didn't see the pouch there. I guess it's being hidden each time. Like, even there, it might be, like, all the way off to the side. Or no, 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 no. Because this is just a straight up shot of her. No pouch. Like, it had a weird design on it specifically. It was also just a completely different color. So she doesn't have it right now. Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, the leash is broken. I mean, I can't blame her. I really can't blame her. This dude just basically, for all intents and purposes, at this moment, he killed Chrome just to take his outfit off. Like, my god. He does look a bit like the Gurren Lagann. Not really, but I can see it. I can see the mecha design especially. He looks like an enemy mecha. I don't know from what series, but he feels like an enemy mecha for sure. Okay, what is her plan though? It's possible it's someone on the ship. Okay, I see what we're doing. So like Suika's safe. The only other person has got to be Ginro. Like we already said, Ginro was in the water when the flash happened. He's probably still on the ship. So he is the thing at the start of the chapter. He is the ace in the hole on the ship of science. Okay, it all makes sense now. Oh boy, okay, never mind. Cover blown. Though, to be fair, like, it does really help that they don't have, like, a unified village. Like, they're not like Ishigami Village. They are super split up. Every time the characters have noticed, our main cast, they've never been like, who the heck are you? How in the world do you exist? They've always just been like, oh, you're from a different village, aren't you? So maybe she can still play it off, but I don't know how. Oh my god, and we just established that Kohaku's dress is one that she can't fight in. So she might be taken down. Like, this could be the shonen, get defeated by your opponent while you're hobbled, and then later on you show up for round 2 and you beat the crap out of them. Also, she does have the stoning pouch. I thought she didn't just because we didn't see it, but I guess it's like it's all the way over on her right. It's like so like super duper ultra far away. Gosh, yeah. That's is that a kick? I assume it's a kick. Yeah, obviously we see the foot there. I was a bit like the flow of action is a bit rough. It's always been a bit rough in Doctor Stone, but like I don't read Doctor Stone for the fights, so it's never bothered me that much. Oh boy, what is this? What are these moments of? Oh boy, this, okay, very not into this fight. She looks like the Tasmanian devil. Oh yeah, I get. I didn't like I wasn't really paying attention because of the flow of the movements and also because like I guess she is using like the flow of her kicks to censor herself, but that's just straight up Bush, isn't it? Like there's a bit of black here, but I'm pretty sure that's Bush. Man, it really does not hide anything. We do see butt cheeks here. Yeah, very sexual. Very sexual. Lab, need lab, somehow or other. They wouldn't know the word. Only our allies for the Kingdom of Science would, so it's like she's speaking in code. But I mean, how are they going to play that off? What else is she screaming? I mean, she's also screaming it at the ship. Okay, again, how are you gonna play this? What's the big twist? Oh my god, okay, that works. That works well enough. We are setting up a weird ship here, but oh my god. Oh my god. This specific panel of Kohaku is the greatest. I mean, does she have to commit to that now? When she's around the other villagers, does she have to just, like, not just calling a Senku Lab? Like, that's obviously, they have to commit to that. But does she have to speak in broken Japanese now? What he said, Lab and I are romantically involved. This is extremely not sexual. I mean, I guess this panel must be like, again, I'm not an alien. I can see that she's like thrusting out her hips, but this part, definitely not. 100% not. This is ice cold water being thrown onto your crotch in drawn format. All right. So I guess they're just playing themselves off as a horny couple that happens to be just hanging out by the ship. Sure. Why is Soyuz so horny all the time? It feels like any little thing that any female character does immediately makes him blush furiously. Like, now I want to see the remaster of Dr. Stone, where we just see Soyuz in the back of like half the moments in the series blushing. But okay, it is as we expected. Of course, they need the lab, and they're in big trouble if I don't take action. Or I can just keep hiding, right? I mean, Ginro is human garbage. He is the worst, but even he cannot possibly get around this. They begged him for help. He's there. He's got to do it. So I'm very excited to see how this arc goes. Like, I mean, not arc. I assume it's going to just be one chapter, but it's kind of, it might be what I wanted from the Chrome arc, the Chrome, like, prison break arc. Where like that was an entire arc of Chrome, getting out. But I mean, part of it, I mean, I guess there was nothing I disliked about it. It was fine. Like, it was relatively satisfying. It's just the art, the stuff around it, I wasn't a big fan of. I didn't really like the whole build up to the fight with Tsukasa's empire. Once we got the fight started, it was fine. But like that whole thing leading up to it was So I think this might be better. Because also, it's not just Ginro has to escape. It's not even Ginro has to like run off. It's specifically he's on a boat. He has to get the lab off. So he has to like Metal Gear Solid his way down to where the lab is, get it out, and then somehow get it off the boat. Which the boat's not docked. So is he going to just toss it in the water and swim it away? Is he going to like somehow, I mean, I guess he could play himself off as being a villager, like a villager of this island. But even then, it would be like, well, clearly the lab is full of stuff they don't know about. There's no way he'd get it off, and like, he couldn't like socially engineer a way to get it off. There's no way. I guess maybe he could bring up the idea of like, hey, the master told me to get this. Maybe, perhaps. Ginro in a barrel is also just a treasure. I agree, Damage. Absolutely a treasure. He also just feels extremely relatable. Like, I've never been in a barrel while all my friends return to stone and or being, like on another island. It's never happened to me, but I don't know, something about this. It feels like a big mood. Dr. Stone once again, best thing in Jump. Or best thing that I have read today in Jump. It was, it combined basically the appeal of everything. It was exciting like Black Clover. It was uh, surprising like like Chainsaw Man. Dr. Stone was surprising like Dr. Stone. Yeah, overall, it had everything I wanted. Also, it was more comedic than the We Never Learn chapter this week, which was definitely missing some like actual comedy. Again, nothing really to speculate on apart from, like, clearly, in order to make Kohaku sexual, they need to get the lab. So we're putting that on hold. They might be able to do something else, but it seems like they really need that makeup because she's a big uggo. So apart from that, what else could they do? Like, they could just set up a camp. They don't have a place to stay. I guess there's nothing stopping them from just going back to her village to the girls' village and just living there. It's full of houses. Why not? So I hope actually that we get mostly a pure Ginro focus as he gets off the ship. Then once we finish that, we cut back to the lab. We see how like they find a way to alert Ginro to like, hey, this is where you need to go. This is where you need to take the lab. Anyways, good chapter. Not going to draw it out anymore. Next is My Hero Academia, chapter 230. So, yeah, it can turn one thing into two. I can only do two things into once. Doubles will always be more fragile than the original. Fair enough. Like, if it was as bad as the duplicates will always like you need to apply as much strength as you need to kill a real human being as you would to destroy the double. That would feel a bit excessive. Like, I understand that. It's the same logic as like in Naruto, the fact that shadow clones or any other type of cloning jutsu, like the clones are never as strong as an actual human being. It creates that same thing of you can have the main characters or the villains destroy clones, and it's not as brutal as killing a real person because they just kind of poof after a given amount of damage. My quirk requires data and an image in my head, but if there's no data, the images come to me. Yeah, so he can't make the bullets. He can't make another Airy either, which, like, that's what my assumption would have been. Like, if he has the DNA, could he make another Airy? Clearly not the case. But all right, come on. Jin, I want you to, like, I want you to make those donuts. I want you to, to make yourself useful. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's the big twice versus twice brawl. Infinite doubles, sad man's parade. Is My Hero Academia trying to step on the toes of Naruto? This 100% feels like a Naruto using a ton of Shadow Clones moments. God damn. I guess the big question is, like, is there a weakness to it? Like, does he use up some sort of energy in order to create a clone? Or, like, do the clones also, like, spawn with less of that energy? Or is it literally a perpetual motion, just he can make clones forever thing? I've said that before as just, like, hey, that's a thing. That could be cool. And he is flooding the entire city with himself. So it seems like there's no real limit to it. All right. So he's not even taking it as like, hey, yep, I failed. He's just outright denying it. Amend that statement, please, because this isn't failure. I'm just moving on to the next phase. God, I cannot wait for the anime because I really want to see. I want him to get a really good voice actor. I really, really want it. Also, I just because of the gorillas thing, I can only hear him in my head as sounding like Murdoch. And the idea of Murdoch, like, how do I put it? Murdoch has this very like blunt, rude speaking pattern, whereas this speaking pattern is like it is blunt in a way, but it's much more eloquent. It's much more of a "you said something wrong on the internet, I need to correct you" sort of speech pattern. All right, with the shackles gone, there's no holding twice back. If nothing else, you've lost your numbers advantage. Very like this might be the most emotion I've ever seen on Dabi's body, like ever. How those eyes are so wide. I was really hoping for more of a dab, sort of, but this is a good pose as well. Very JoJo's. One of them was unlimited twice works. I mean, not gonna lie, if I were the one scanning slash translating the series, probably would have gone with unlimited twice works as well. It's a very easy joke to make. I mean, what would the counterpart be? Gates of Twice Alon? I mean, that is the big question. Like, is he that powerful? Because he can only use existing ice. Presumably, he can't freeze the water back into ice. So, like, how does he win? I assumed there was going to be something more to it, and I mean, based on the flow of this, based on the the flow of once someone's winning, the other person has to then do a turnabout. Like, there's got to be a thing here. I just don't know what it could be. Oh boy, here comes the Twices. They even call themselves the Twices. I love it. Oh boy, it is hell trying to listen to Twice talk normally, though. This must be the worst. Like, oh boy, I do not empathize. I mean, I can highly empathize with the League of Villains. Like, I don't envy them. Having to deal with this. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That doesn't clarify things, but this feels like a heroic origin story, though you're still a villain. Oh, am I stupid? Why don't I double Davi? Alright, time for the army of Davies. Well, I have enough guys for a whole villain nation. Oh yeah! Okay, good point, good point. No doubling Davi then. So, we've got it, like, even in-universe, gotta draw it out. We still got an hour left, but now it's not. Like, destroy everything, how in the world are we gonna last an hour? Now it's, oh boy, how do we make this fight continue to last? How do we It's such an unshonen thing to do, too. I mean, shonen series are no stranger to, a countdown or to a, like, we need to buy time for this thing to happen. But this is so much more of a, like, it is very villainous. It's very much a, our entertainment is going to run out too quickly thing. I mean, I guess it isn't. Like, there is a real thing here of, we gotta wear out Gigantomachia, but still. Like, it's such a neat dynamic. It's something we haven't seen in My Hero before, just because it's so not traditional. Oh boy. I feel like in the anime, these Twices are just going to be small blobs. I mean, the alternative is CG, and I don't think anyone wants CG Twices. I mean, they could do that. I mean, we could go full Overlord with the wave of CG clones, but I don't know. I don't think anyone wants that. Okay. Okay, Toga comes first. They'll ask me where she's at. Okay. What is that? Yeah, there's a lot of ice. So, I see how it is, but is it existing ice, or is he really getting it from somewhere? Oh, that includes controlling the ice's temperature. Okay. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. It is fundamentally like, oh, I can also freeze things, but it is an important distinction. Like, his power is controlling ice. Like most quirks, like, it is a thing, and you can make it grow, you can make it change. It's not necessarily just a superpower. It's a thing that you can physically do. So that does make sense. Like, it means that if he has zero ice at all, then he is weak. But, like, as long as he has even the tiny sliver of ice and some water, he can continue to make more ice. In the future that our Liberation Army foresees, our one's rank in society will directly be tied to the strength of one's meta ability. Elevating one's ability will be the only way to really live. Beyond that sheer strength, life has no value. So, first of all, very not what I expected from the Meta Liberation Army. Like, it could be their thing. Maybe. Maybe we have been presented with an incomplete version of their ethos. But I think this might just be his way of looking at things. Because, like, it doesn't really gel with what we've seen of the MLA thus far. That said, this is very much a, if the Meta Liberation Army so far is very Magneto, if Destro, or, Re-Destro is sort of like someone picking up the torch after Magneto, then this is much more of an apocalypse vibe. A, survival of the fittest, only the strongest mutants should survive. That your worth as a mutant is tied to how powerful your mutation is. Like, still very, very Marvel. Also, like, if Dabi is the other Todoroki, which I think everyone assumes at this point, it explains why these two would be such a good match. Like, it's someone who was bred to be the most powerful, to have the strongest meta ability, versus someone who's all about elevating your meta ability. Yeah, I can smell it from here. Your body's burning away. So I don't think we ever fully confirmed it, but it's been a long, long running theory in the franchise that yeah, Dabi destroys himself when he uses his fire. Letting them die here isn't what All for One would want. So just calling him up. All right, speeding it up a little bit. That's good because I was really worried about having to kill that full hour. Also, to be fair, like when I say CG, I was saying the Overlord thing just because that's the worst case scenario, but there are ways to use, like 2D CG in a good way. Like, as long as Twice isn't that difficult to draw. Like, if you simplify his body down a bit, you just make him like, if they're mostly like front-facing Twices, I think you could do like CGI Twices in a way that would look pretty okay. Not the greatest, you'd probably still notice, but I think you could blend it in relatively well. Also, if they do like the occasional panning shots where you just see like them as a big army, but they're not constantly all moving at the same time, like I think it's doable. There's a lot of things in this arc that I want to see done really well, and if that means like just having one really good money shot with all the Twices and then pushing away the budget for them for a bit, I'd be completely fine with that. Like I'd much rather have some dopey Twices and really really good other fights. Wait, really? Like legit? It's a 90-minute walk. So I guess they still gotta wait. I mean, Makia's gonna run. There's no way that it's gonna take him 90 minutes, but still. 90 hours? Wait, 90 hours? That's a much bigger difference. But it can't be 90 hours. They were there with Gigantomachia, like, within a day, and they got here. And they can't teleport. Wait, can't they teleport? No, they didn't teleport here, right? Okay. Sorry, I was I think I had the same thing that Donut did, where I was thinking of it as like, yeah, like Makia is going to run to them relatively quickly once he wakes up. Therefore, like they couldn't, like if they were warped, they weren't warped a large distance. But yeah, they were. Okay, never mind. I mean, he could warp Makia. I guess that's it. I guess in that case, Makia might just be here right now. Or not, right now, but by next chapter. There's no reason why he couldn't. Either that, or like if Gatamachia has multiple quirks, which we have implied, like maybe he does have an ability that will just allow him to get there really quickly. Like maybe he's gonna do a Superman leap. But oh boy, that was not an element of this arc that I remembered, and I thought I was pretty on top of everything. Overall, really good chapter. Like seeing all the Twices, that's something I've wanted ever since we got Twice's backstory. Ever since we got, the post-Trump chapter of My Hero, which I only call that because I find it so funny. But yeah, like, extremely, extremely satisfying. Ice Boy, pretty cool. I do love the whole, apocalypse vibe he has. Again, Dabi, much like Twice, isn't really someone who needs an upgrade. Maybe he'll get one. Maybe he'll find a way to not hurt himself. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it is just going to be that he shows off his sheer strength, his raw power, and through that he's going to destroy Ice Boy's temperature or Ice Boy's ideology. Apart from that, just jeez, it has been just consistently good. It has just been fantastic. I have no it was better than Dr. Stone. I love Dr. Stone. I regularly say it's the best thing in Jump, but My Hero has been consistently amazing for this arc. Maybe one or two chapters have been a little but overall it has been just a banger after a banger after a banger. So I feel completely safe with saying that, yeah, My Hero, fantastic. Overall, good time. Oh yeah, I forgot. As always, that's not the actual comments. The comments are in the blog, not in the comment section. Okay, actually, before I say author comments, I do also want to say, I would, because we're doing the whole Detonaught thing, I would really love it if the League of Villains all got, physical upgrades. I was just talking about that in Black Clover as well. I think a lot of series don't really like My Hero has historically been good with giving physical upgrades to Deku, and like iterating on the various heroes like costumes. Like costumes have been important in My Hero, but we haven't done that with the villains. And I would really love to see like upgrades to all their costumes. Like, I mean, Toga's pretty good as is. She's never really been able to fully utilize her outfits all that well, but like it's good as it is. But like with Shigaraki now, maybe we could do something to like, I don't know, concentrate or like spray his destructive power or something. Dobby could get like a skin suit or something. Yeah, like in general, because Death Note's all about like meta things or things that are meant to improve the lives of metas, I could definitely see them like raiding the base at some points, or just getting a lot of materials. Maybe Giron's just going to get a massive stockpile of stuff, to make up for the fact that he was so badly beaten. He might just steal a bunch of like highly classified Detonot stuff and just sell it on the black markets. Okay, good one. Good one. Anyways, you don't want to see Toffee in a skin-tight bodysuit. I absolutely do. Like, legitimately, it would cover up his, his weird patchy skin. Like, just, a latex bodysuit. I think it'd look good. Author comments. Uh, I looked at Tokyo Shinobi Squad. I didn't really see who the creator of it was. Okay, so it's two people, Yuki Tanaka and Kento Masura. As always, we do get both of them in the author comments for the first chapter, which is just a cool thing to do. Is this anyone? Or is it someone I've seen before? It looks like he's done multiple things. Wait, did he do Demon Bane? Or, I mean, he didn't do Demon Bane, obviously, but did he adapt it? Yeah, it looks like it's... He also did something called Tokyo Shinobi Squad back in oh no, it's 2019. Never mind. What is this order? What in the world? Hey, thanks for being around the Pills Are Here one. It was a good time. Okay, yeah, Nitro Plus did Demon Bane, like they did the visual novel. So I guess he just drew it. Fair enough. Not even on Mal, of course. What about Kento Masura? Oh, I do have it sorted A to Z. I never use back updates. That explains a lot. There we are. Thanks. Yeah. Gonna create a fun shonen manga. Thanks for the support. And then Kento Masura, nice to meet you. I'm gonna go crazy on the pages with Jin and his gang. All right. Well, I am excited. I was super into this first chapter. I found it so hilarious that my hiccups wouldn't stop. I laughed a ton. That stopped them. Fair enough. Oh my god, the Cup Noodles commercial. If you guys have not seen the Cup Noodles commercial, it is fantastic. I rewatched it a bunch. I saw that one breakdown that someone did on YouTube. It is like, it's so packed. It is so ridiculously packed. Plus, the One Piece art style is just so distinct that seeing the characters in a different art style in anything is just super cool. And like, there's a lot of really interesting choices. I won't say they're all great. Like, it is, some of them are just like, that sure is them in another art style. But I really did appreciate how packed it was with stuff. I'm back. I'm probably all better. I'm so sorry. Volume 14 is coming out in Japan. The parody manga is also being released at the same time. Okay. I definitely do want to see the parody manga. Like, it seems like it's a legitimately another thing and not just volume extras, so hopefully that comes out here. Like, hopefully Promised Neverland is doing well enough in English. With the serialization, I'm just the writer, but the schedule is still tight. Weekly serialization is rough. I mean, again, he says he's just the writer, but he does the storyboards. Which also, like, I imagine that definitely must hurt. Like, I mean, not hurt, but like, it definitely adds to the stress of doing it. He is basically just doing another new serialization. And it's not even like Boruto, where he's more hands-off. It seems like he's more hands-on with Hachimaru than he is with Boruto. My life schedule is so messed up that I had my wife frying up karage in the middle of the night. Aww. I mean, the fact that they are a good enough couple that they can do that and it's not a problem is inherently really great. I was putting together a bingo. I didn't have enough stuff for it though, but I do want to get the the weekly Shonen Jump bingo going. The problem is really that you can do like one thing for each person, and then some of them kind of overlap. But then apart from that, you really just have to do a thing of like, does someone say this thing? Does someone say that thing? Do more than 50% of the comments have something to do with food? It's hard to balance it quite right. I went to watch the anime voiceover recording. Everyone is amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I mean, part of it is just the usual, pre-anime hype. Like, of course, you can't really say, oh man, this is sure a stinker. Sure hate all of them. But at the same time, like, assuming this is legit, I am very happy for Inagaki and for Boichi. Like, it seems like they're pretty excited about this. A reader made me a handmade slide and go figure. I laughed out loud at the choice. So happy. I mean, I doubt there's actually, like, images out for it. I mean, it is just a personal thing, so highly doubt it. What? Oh, wait, no, this is from Manga Plus. Okay, I was gonna ask, like, is someone reformatting these? The joy of being able to eat sweet stuff every day. I love souffle roll cakes. Okay, sure. Another person who does food-related comments. Oh boy, okay. I've definitely heard from a lot of people that Breath of the Wild is extremely massive. Haven't played it myself, but I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear that people are still playing it too. Like, it doesn't seem like it has the level of, staying power as something like Skyrim, and that's fair because, it is a Nintendo exclusive, but I am glad that it is, like, sticking around. That people are still talking about it, like, right now as much as they were back when it first came out. Or not as much, but still, like, people are talking about it. It's still relatively high profile. I really should be reading the series that I don't read in Jump, like, beforehand. But I haven't been. Like, I am reading Double Taisei, but what I usually do for series I don't read right now, like, I'm from Japan and, like, Yuki Kamio, is I usually do these reactions and I read them afterwards. But, like, there is, the Sunday where I don't read anything. I probably should read them then. Hey, always a big fan of people in Jump supporting other people in Jump. It's been a while since I've heard anyone talk about Baumkuchen. It is the king of roll cakes. Like, if you can only eat one type of roll cake in your life, eat a Baumkuchen. They're so good. They're like the what are those called? Like shawarma? They're like the shawarma of cakes in the sense that, like they are on a spit, they're rolled around, they're layered. It's like a layer by layer process. Something about that layering specifically, just it's so good as compared to something like any other layered pastry. I don't know. There's something addictive about Baumkuchen. Yukasukura, you have 3 chapters left. Come on, make them count. Make them count. More food talk. Also, I'm writing this comment from Italy. It's been a while since I've read Blue Exorcist. I really need to get caught up on it. What is going on with Blue Exorcist? I mean, it might just be that Kazue Kato is finally taking a vacation for the first time in a while, but I mean, we just got a chapter, so it might be more of a working vacation. Yeah. I mean, is that how you pronounce it? Is it supposed to be Baumkuchen? I doubt it's. My pronunciation of anything German is absolutely god-awful. Is it Baumkuchen? Kuchen? It can't be Kuchen. No, that's wrong. That's definitely wrong. I thought it was Kuchen. Anyways, that was Weekly Shonen Jump for the week of June 2nd, 2019. Nailed it. Final ranking is as shown here. It's also down below in the comments or in the description. Banger of a week. Pretty good. Honestly, a lot more scattered than usual. Like, usually, the Livestream series are heads and tails above the pre-recorded series, but this is much more of a mix. Which I wouldn't say that's a good thing, but it's definitely a thing. It's something to note. Like, One Piece and We Never Learn, meh, this week. My Hero and Dr. Stone, absolutely fantastic. And Chainsaw Man is extremely dependent on just whatever happens to be happening. Like, it's very Bleach-like in that sense. It's a fast read, and because of that, it hits like a bullet. You kind of just... Oh, boy. Sorry about the background noise, by the way. Thank you all so much for watching. That's it. Check out my other reactions. I've been doing stuff. I'm going to do some more chapter 1s. I've got some real weird content coming out that I don't think anyone wants, but you're getting it anyways. Also probably some Alita to make up for that. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye for now. Nya nya.